Chapter 2785. The Silver Lightning Race Powerhouse's expression darkened when he heard this. His eyes were filled with killing intent as he spoke coldly. Kid, you'd better think carefully. Do you want to go against the Silver Lightning Race? What are the consequences of going against us? Don't think that you're a sacred land or the master of Immortal Palace. In front of the Silver Lightning Race you're nothing. The 10,000 ancient races are about to revive and rule the world. The good days of the human race are about to come to an end. When the time comes, you'll all become prisoners. So today, I'm not here to discuss with you. I'm here to give you an order. If you dare to take a step within a radius of 500 miles, I'll destroy Immortal Palace. Arrogant, too arrogant. An ancient creature dared to challenge the entire Immortal Palace? Who gave him the courage? Li Xuanxin, the chief protector, and the others had gloomy expressions. They wanted nothing more than to slap the other party to death. But to be honest, they really didn't dare. The 10,000 ancient races were connected. Some of them had a good relationship with each other. Therefore, attacking one race was equivalent to attacking many other races. There were even some who were inextricably linked to the ancient royal clan. Therefore, unless they had no other choice, they really didn't want to start a war with the 10,000 ancient races. However, the other party was too arrogant. These people were filled with killing intent. The atmosphere in the entire hall was very solemn. Countless cracks even appeared in the void. Damn, how dare you threaten us? Do you want to die? The dark red divine dragon jumped up and flew into the sky. He looked ahead coldly. Do you believe that I won't roast you and eat you? Who do you think you are? How dare a snake be so arrogant in front of me? The Silver Lightning Race Powerhouse sneered. But in the next moment, he screamed and fear appeared in his eyes. That was because he felt an extremely powerful pressure and monstrous blood surging out from the other party's body. Dragons? You're a dragon. He was too shocked. There was nothing he could do. The dragons were the royal races of the 10,000 ancient races. Their status and identity were much higher than the Silver Lightning races. In front of the Dragon Pearl, the Silver Lightning Race Powerhouse didn't dare to be impudent at all. But soon he frowned. No, the dragons were all in the nest of 10,000 dragons and hadn't appeared yet. And even if they appeared, why would they be with humans? Damn it, who the hell are you? He was truly astonished. He didn't believe that the dignified far ancient imperial dragons would walk together with humans. This was simply impossible. Is this Emperor's matter something an ant like you can inquire about? The dark red divine dragon floated above and looked down at the other party, its voice filled with disdain. If you dare to be arrogant in front of me again, this Emperor will slap you to death. The Silver Electric Race's expert had an ugly expression on his face. However, the dragon might and dragon blood on Lin Fan's body were truly oppressing his soul. Therefore, he didn't dare to be presumptuous anymore. He had to hurry back and find out what was going on. Could it be that the nest of 10,000 dragons had made a new move? In the next moment, he looked at Lin Xian and said coldly, "Brat, I've already delivered the message. I hope you will abide by it and we can still live in peace. Otherwise." He didn't continue, but his meaning was clear. Anyone who dared to provoke them would be declaring war on the Silver Lightning Race. This was not something a sacred ground or a major sect could bear. Even if Immortal Palace was powerful, it still couldn't endure it. At this point, he snorted coldly and turned around to leave. Looking at the other party's arrogant figure, the surrounding Immortal Palace cultivators gritted their teeth, but there was nothing they could do. Many people were so angry that they were trembling. Damn it, they really wanted to attack and kill him with a slap. Lin Xian's eyes were also shining with a terrifying light. Wait, did I say you could leave? In front of him, the Silver Electric Race's expert stiffened, and a hint of anger appeared in his eyes. He suddenly turned his head. Brat, you dare to stop me? So what if you have a dragon by your side? He might not even be from the nest of 10,000 dragons. The Silver Electric Race's expert was also furious. Their Silver Electric Race was an extremely powerful race among the 10,000 ancient races. They were born with divine lightning, and the other 10,000 ancient races didn't dare to be presumptuous towards them. Not to mention a mere human. Moreover, he was a young human brat. Lin Xian sat high on the throne, and his cold voice sounded. I am the master of Immortal Palace, and I am on equal footing with your Silver Electric Race's patriarch. How dare you be presumptuous in front of me? You really have no manners. Quickly kneel down and apologize. His voice was like thunder, carrying a biting cold murderous aura that surrounded the 9 heavens. When these words came out, everyone was stunned. The warriors of Immortal Palace couldn't believe that their palace master was actually so powerful. The Silver Electric Race's expert was also stunned. He couldn't believe his ears. The next moment he screamed, "Brat, what did you say? You want me to kneel down and apologize? You're courting death. Believe it or not, I'll take your head off right now." He took a step forward and lightning surged on his body, turning into lightning beasts that surrounded him, filling the void. "You want my head? Do you have the ability?" Lin Xian also stood up, and his 9-yang divine body bloomed with light. Not only that, but sword energy rushed out from his body, turning into a true dragon that circled around him, making him look like a god of war. "Palace Master, you can't." The head protector and the others cried out in alarm. Although they were furious, they really couldn't start a war with the 10,000 ancient races now. The 10,000 ancient races were too terrifying. If they didn't handle it well, it would really trigger a great war. That result was something that no one could bear. Seeing the surrounding elders persuade him, the Silver Electric Race's expert threw his head back and laughed loudly. "Ha ha, brat, do you see that? These experts of Immortal Palace are all afraid of me and don't dare to fight with me at all. You still don't know what's good for you. Kneel down and apologize to me now, and I can consider sparing your life." Lin Xian's eyes were filled with biting cold killing intent. They didn't dare to, but that didn't mean that he didn't dare to. At this point, the sword energy on his body swept through the sky, charging towards the Silver Electric Race's expert. A shocking sword strike that made heaven and earth pale. In an instant, everyone felt as if their bodies were pierced through. This sword light was too piercingly cold. Although Lin Xian didn't obtain many treasures in the nest of 10,000 dragons, his great dragon sword soul had absorbed an endless amount of Dragon Dao aura, so it was revived again. His strength had increased exponentially. At this moment when he displayed it, it was truly shocking to the heavens and earth. Courting death. The Silver Electric Race's expert was also furious. He urged the lightning beasts around him to quickly pounce forward. They collided with the sword light. Lightning burst out in the sky, wanting to destroy the sword light. However, under this sword all things were destroyed. All of the lightning beasts were split apart by the sword. The cuts were flat and they couldn't be revived at all. The lightning also quickly dimmed and then disappeared into the void. Only waves of white smoke rose. Buzz. Chapter 2786. Not good. The Silver Lightning Race powerhouse's expression changed. He did not expect the other party's sword chi to be so powerful. He roared angrily and his fist surged, turning into a mountain as he faced the attack. Clang. Above him the two collided. Boom. Silver blood splattered, piercing through the void. The Silver Lightning Race powerhouse retracted his palm and kept retreating, screaming. His fist was split in half. His strange face was also incomparably distorted. His eyes were blood red. "Damn brat, how dare you hurt me?" He was extremely angry, but at the same time he was also filled with fear. The other party's strength had far exceeded his imagination. He was actually able to easily injure him with a single sword strike. It was simply too unbelievable. One had to know that he was from the 10,000 ancient races. He was powerful and his physique was even more powerful. Even a heaven-grade weapon might not be able to break through his defense. Damn it. He still wanted to say something, but in the next moment he screamed. The sword chi in front of him once again covered the sky and the earth, enveloping him. Damn it, get lost. With an angry roar, silver lightning quickly rushed out from his body, turning into lightning balls. The terrifying lightning balls exploded, forming a sea of lightning that filled the sky, blasting away all the sword chi. Brat, I was careless just now. You want to kill me? You're still far from it. The Silver Lightning Race powerhouse sneered again. But in the next moment he trembled, because he saw a dragon-shaped sword shadow slash across his neck. Instantly, half of his neck was cut open and blood flowed wildly, dyeing his body red. He did not know when the other party had already appeared behind him, and a cold voice sounded in his ear. "Do you think it's difficult for me to kill you?" He trembled extremely. The Silver Lightning Race powerhouse's body trembled. The other party could have killed him directly with that sword strike just now. However, the other party did not. He only cut open half of his neck. This meant that the other party was warning him. "I'll give you one last chance. Kneel down and apologize. Brat, you're courting death. Kill me if you can." The Silver Lightning Race powerhouse shouted angrily. He guessed that the other party did not dare to make a move at all. He must have some scruples. As soon as he finished speaking, he felt a chill on his neck, and his head and body were separated. With a plop, his body fell to the ground. Lin Xian grabbed the man's head. "Do you think I don't dare? "Ah, damn brat, you dare to kill me? You're dead meat. The Silver Lightning tribe will never let you off." The head roared furiously. "At that time, when my Silver Lightning clan's great army presses down, your immortal palace will be dead for sure." Su Qin sneered. How dare he still be so stubborn? Acting recklessly. "Do you believe that I can destroy your soul with a single move?" He waved his dragon-shaped sword, and a terrifying sword chi locked onto the head. The Silver Lightning race expert's head was shocked, and his eyes were filled with fear. Indeed, he felt a destructive aura that could easily destroy his soul. Damn it, who the hell is this kid? How could it be so terrifying? What was that dragon-shaped sword in his hand? Why was it able to cut his body apart so easily? He was an expert of the Silver Lightning race. But in the eyes of the other party he was like an ant. He could not believe it. Su Qin snorted coldly. With a wave of his hand, he threw away the other party's head. The head flew out and merged with the corpse on the ground, forming a complete body. The Silver Lightning race expert recovered. His face was pale, and he looked at the other party with an unusually cold gaze. "Kid, I'll fight you." He opened his mouth and spat out a sickle that emitted a simple and heavy aura. It seemed to be an ancient treasure. He wanted to fight with his life on the line. However, golden runes appeared in Lin Xian's eyes. Bus. His heavenly secret divine eyes were activated, and a terrifying soul attack rushed out. The other party's body trembled as he screamed crazily. He did not expect Lin Xian to use a soul attack. Therefore he was careless and his soul power was severely injured. The golden runes in Lin Xian's eyes spun rapidly, forming mysterious patterns one after another. He directly controlled the other party. "Kneel down." A cold voice sounded. The Silver Lightning race expert's eyes were lifeless. With a plop, he knelt on the ground and kowtowed continuously. This scene shocked everyone. In particular, the elders of Immortal Palace sucked in a breath of cold air. The chief enforcer, Li Xuanxian, and the others had solemn expressions. Although they had subdued the silversmith race expert, the situation was not optimistic. After all, the other party was backed by the Silver Lightning race. They were an extremely terrifying race among the 10,000 ancient races. Lin Xian looked at the chief enforcer, Li Xuanxian, and the other elders and said in a deep voice, "Don't worry, I won't kill him. Also, do you think that we can exchange for safety if we keep on giving in?" Hearing this, Li Xuanxian and the chief enforcer's bodies stiffened, and a trace of shock appeared in their eyes. Lin Xian continued, "Chaos is coming and the 10,000 ancient races are recovering. Only a powerful force can suppress everything. Otherwise, no matter how respectful and courteous you are, the other party will probably raise the butcher's knife in their hand and mercilessly chop you down. Therefore, there is no need to be afraid when facing the 10,000 ancient races. If we can win, we will fight. If we can't, even if we have to risk our lives, we will bite off a piece of their flesh and let them know that we are not to be trifled with. Before anyone dares to touch us, they should think about the consequences of doing so. This way, our immortal palace will be able to survive in this chaotic world. Otherwise, everyone will think that we are cowards and easy to bully. This way there will be endless 10,000 ancient races coming to bully us. Are you willing to live such a life?" Lin Xian's voice echoed in the surroundings. Hearing this, the elders felt their scalps go numb. Indeed, they were too shocked by the information of the 10,000 ancient races and forgot about these things. Even if they gave in today, the Silver Lightning race would not be nice to them. In the future they would definitely be even more greedy and bully them. Therefore, whether they submitted or resisted, the result would be the same. The other party would have to fight sooner or later. If that was the case, why not resist? Perhaps they could even make them afraid and hurt them in advance. In the next moment, everyone looked at the Silver Lightning race's experts kneeling in the hall. Lin Xian also looked at them and said coldly, "Get lost. Tell your people that I will only give you a range of 100,000 miles. You can be safe and sound in that range, but if you dare to run around outside, I will kill you without mercy. Get lost." With a wave of his sleeve, he sent the Silver Lightning race's expert flying. At the same time he removed the soul control. The Silver Lightning race's expert vomited blood and flew out of the hall. His body also recovered. Thinking of what happened before, he was so angry that he vomited blood and went crazy. "Ah!" He roared at the sky. Lightning surged on his body, turning into a lightning dragon that roared in all directions. That damn brat, he was so angry that he went crazy. He was a dignified expert of the Silver Lightning race. When had he ever knelt and kowtowed to a human? This was intolerable. Chapter 2787. He discovered that the elders and experts who had been afraid of him before were now emitting an incomparably cold killing intent, firmly locking onto him. He had no doubt that as long as he made a move, these elders would mercilessly attack and kill him. Damn brat, just you wait. All of you, just you wait. My silver lightning race will definitely not let this matter rest. Just wait for the fury of my 10,000 ancient races. After speaking, the silver lightning race expert turned around and left. Like a stray dog, he quickly fled. Lin Xian coldly snorted. The eyes of the Immortal Palace cultivators all flickered. Previously, the other party had been acting arrogant, but when they hardened their hearts and prepared to fight to the death, the other party was afraid. Didn't this confirm what Lin Xian had said before? Facing the 10,000 ancient races, they must not cower. They must fight to the death. Send people to investigate the silver lightning race's movements. At the same time, call back our people and fully activate the array ready for battle. Lin Xian's voice was ice-cold. He guessed that the silver lightning race would definitely make some moves, but Immortal Palace would not be afraid. Following this, the elders and disciples all began to move. In fact, it wasn't just Immortal Palace. At the same time, the Yi family, Gu family, Jade Pool, Alcade, and many other great sects and dynasties all received these ancient creatures. This was because the 10,000 ancient races of True Spirit World had recovered. Wherever they recovered, the 10,000 ancient races would send their own experts to communicate with the local great sections. Of course, the content of the communication was similar. Most of them wanted a stable territory so that other human cultivators couldn't casually step in. Although 5 million miles was a large distance, it was still a drop in the ocean for the great sections. Moreover, the reputation of the 10,000 ancient races was too strong. Therefore, ordinary great sects didn't dare to contend with them at all. They all tacitly agreed to give up 5 million miles of territory in exchange for temporary peace. The ancient race powerhouses who had gone there all returned satisfied. They held their heads high and left the great sects with pride. Many great sects even sent a group of elders to see them off. When the other warriors saw this scene, they were all stunned. Huge waves even surged in their hearts. What's going on? So many ancient creatures had appeared, and the elders of the great sects of the human Holy Land treated them so respectfully. What's going on? There must have been a secret negotiation. However, it seemed like the great sects of the human race had given in. Damn it. It can't be. Could it be that the 10,000 ancient races can regain control of the entire True Spirit World without even a war? Everyone's face was filled with despair. Of course, not all the great sects in the Holy Land were so humble. There were some who were more forceful. Although there hadn't been any major battles, their territory had shrunk from 5 million miles to 4 million miles, or 3 million miles. The ancient creatures negotiated with him and eventually they all agreed to his request. After all, the strength and foundation of these great sects were extremely terrifying. However, on Immortal Palace and Lin Xian's side, they directly declared war, making the other side kowtow and apologize, moreover throwing them out. This was probably the only one in the world. Even the remote antiquity families wouldn't dare to do that. At this moment, the Yi clan also welcomed a figure. A figure bathed in flames descended upon the Yi family like a god of fire. At this moment, the elders of the Yi clan all had unsightly expressions. Yi Wudao sat there with a gloomy expression. The Yi clan head's eyes flickered. This was because the other side had made the same request. They wanted to draw a 5 million mile forbidden zone near the Yi clan, and no one was allowed to enter. Even the Yi clan couldn't approach. This was hard for the Yi clan experts to accept. Their Yi clan was a remote antiquity family, a descendant of the Emperor clan. In the True Spirit World, especially the Eastern Wasteland, they were a true overlord. When the other great sects of the Holy Land saw them, they would have to lower their heads. Perhaps, apart from the other remote antiquity families and the great sects of the Holy Land that possessed extreme weapons, no one was their match. But now, these ancient creatures had come out and demanded to divide the Yi clan's territory. They were truly reckless. However, the Yi clan head's expression was grave. This wasn't an ordinary ancient creature, but a powerhouse of the ancient royal race. The ancient royal race was an extremely terrifying existence. The vermilion bird race was an extremely terrifying existence among the ancient royal race. The vermilion bird was a divine beast of the world, and the vermilion bird race had the bloodline of a divine beast flowing through their veins. They were extremely terrifying. But so what if they were terrifying? The Yi clan wasn't to be trifled with. The Yi clan was the descendant of a great emperor, an emperor race. Among the 10,000 ancient races, they were equivalent to royalty. How could they be afraid of the vermilion bird race? Therefore, the smell of gunpowder between the two sides was very strong, and they were in a deadlock. They were on the verge of starting a war. The Vermilion Bird powerhouse was bathed in divine flames as he said coldly. So what if you're the descendant of a great emperor? Your great emperor is no longer here. But the ancestor of the Vermilion Bird race is still alive. If you really anger us, the ancestor of the Vermilion Bird race will descend and destroy your Yi clan. Let's see if the great emperor you believe in can save you then. The moment these words came out, the faces of the Yi clan elders changed. The disciples of the Yi clan also cried out in alarm. What? The ancestor of the Vermilion Bird race was still alive? Heavens, how many tens of thousands of years had it lived? Although it was sealed with divine crystals, it was still too terrifying. To think that there was such a terrifying powerhouse hidden in the Yi clan's territory, it really made them feel a lingering fear. How dare you threaten the Yi clan? Is the ancestor of the Vermilion Bird race very powerful? A grand elder of the Yi clan stood up. He looked to be in his 30s, but he was indeed a grand elder who had lived for more than 3,000 years. He was very terrifying and his temper was very fiery. When he heard the other party's arrogant words, the grand elder was furious. Do you really think that the Yi clan is easy to bully? Do you really think that your Vermilion Bird race's ancestor can sweep through everything? Today I'll let you see the foundation of the Yi clan. After saying this, he snorted coldly, and a burst of golden blood rushed out of his body, turning into a pillar of light that shot into the sky. Buzz. In the depths of the Yi clan, a primitive aura surged out, bringing with it a destructive power. Although it was only a trace, it made everyone tremble. The powerful being from the Vermilion Bird tribe in particular, was sprawled on the ground in utter terror. Damn it, what was that? This aura was too powerful, surpassing the might of a saint. An extreme weapon. Damn it, it was an extreme weapon. He was too shocked. He didn't expect that the Yi clan had left behind an extreme weapon. Now that it was activated, the Emperor's might of the extreme weapon was not something that he could withstand. Chapter 2788. Seeing the Vermilion Bird lying on the ground and trembling, the experts in the Yi family's main hall all laughed. What Vermilion Bird race? In front of the Yi family's extreme weapon, wouldn't they kneel and crawl? The Vermilion Bird race's expert had an ugly expression. His eyes were burning with anger. Damn it! How dare you treat me like this? I'll have the family destroy you. He was furious. When had he ever been so afraid in front of so many humans? The Grand Elder snorted and waved his hand. Immediately, the extreme weapon's pressure disappeared without a trace. The Vermilion Bird race's expert also stood up from the ground. His body trembled and killing intent surged out of his body. Yi Wudao also took a step forward. His golden aura surged as he faced the Grand Elder without fear. Seeing that the atmosphere was getting more and more tense, the Yi family's patriarch spoke. We can draw the 5 million mile area you mentioned. Everyone was shocked when they heard this. The Vermilion Bird race's expert smiled. But soon his smile froze. The Yi family's patriarch continued, however, you can't stay in the Yi family's territory. You can move out of the Yi family's territory and divide it in another ungoverned territory. The Vermilion Bird race's expert's expression turned ugly. You wanted them to retreat? Wasn't this admitting that the Vermilion Bird race was afraid of the other party? If news of this spread, the Vermilion Bird race would lose face. How would they survive in the future? They would probably be laughed at by countless people. Impossible. The Vermilion Bird race's expert refused. The Yi family's patriarch didn't get angry. Instead, he said indifferently, you felt the Emperor's pressure just now, right? Our Yi family has a complete extreme weapon, and we have enough resources and ability to fully activate it. How much do you know about the extreme weapon's power? I can tell you about it. 30,000 years ago, a demonic sect appeared in the eastern wilderness. It was extremely terrifying. Its strength was equivalent to that of a top holy land, but its methods were extremely cruel and it killed countless people. In order to return peace to the world, the Yi family's Saint Physique carried an extreme weapon and destroyed the demonic palace with a single attack. All the experts inside were killed. Not a single one of them came out alive. 50,000 years ago, the demon race prospered. A peerless genius appeared and became a demon saint. Their strength was extremely terrifying, and they slaughtered the human race. At the critical moment, the saint of the Yi family once again brought out an extreme weapon. With one strike, he sank half of the eastern barren territory and killed the talented saint of the demon race. At this point, the Yi family's martial artist, Old Jianghu, was very excited. They all clenched their fists. The faces of the Vermilion Bird tribe elites became paler and paler. In fact, even without the other party's explanation, he already knew how terrifying and powerful these extreme weapons were. That was a weapon forged and used by a great emperor. It contained an extremely powerful emperor's might, surpassing that of a saint. As long as he was revived, it would be equivalent to a great emperor temporarily descending into the mortal world. His power would definitely be unimaginable, and he would be able to sweep through everything. Seeing the other party's expression, the Yi clan's patriarch smiled. Very good, it seems like you know the power of an extreme weapon. Then how far is the Vermilion Bird tribe from my Yi clan's headquarters? Would he be able to dodge the attack of an extreme weapon? At this point, the Vermilion Bird race's expert's expression changed greatly and cold sweat appeared on his back. His clothes were wet and the flames on his body dimmed. That's right, they were incomparably powerful and wanted to suppress the Yi clan, but they forgot that they were too close to the Yi clan. If the Yi clan was angered and directly used an extreme weapon, the Vermilion Bird tribe would not be able to escape. After all, this distance was completely within the attack range of an extreme weapon. Even if their patriarch was resurrected, it would probably be useless. Just the aftermath of that energy would be able to destroy any existence below a saint. Thinking of this, his attitude changed. I can't make the decision on this matter. I need to go back and discuss it with the elders of the Vermilion Bird tribe. No problem, there's no hurry. The Yi clan's patriarch smiled. I'll give you a month to discuss it. Men, send the guests out. The Yi clan's patriarch waved his hand, and the elders of the Yi clan sent the Vermilion Bird tribe elite out of the Yi clan's residence. After the Vermilion Bird tribe elite left the Yi clan's residence, he turned into a fiery red light and instantly left. This was a big matter, a big crisis. He had to report it quickly. After the Vermilion Bird tribe elite left, the elders of the Yi clan also laughed loudly. What Vermilion Bird tribe? No matter how strong they are nothing in front of the Yi clan. That's right, once an extreme weapon is used, it will sweep away everything. However, the Yi clan's patriarch and the grand elders had grave expressions. The Yi clan's patriarch sighed. He was not so optimistic. Although the Vermilion Bird tribe was strong, they were only a royal clan. Above the royal clan was the immemorial royal clan. Those were also clans with great emperors. In their hands, it was very likely that they also had extreme weapons. When the time came to encounter them, they would have no advantage. The atmosphere in the hall became heavy once again. Indeed, the other party also had the bloodline of a great emperor and even had extreme weapons left in the world, so they had to be careful. However, they didn't know how many extreme weapons the other party had. Not only the Yi clan but the Gu clan, Jade Pool, Alcade, Daoi Holy Ground, and other sacred grounds with extreme weapons all displayed the emperor's might of their extreme weapons to scare away the immemorial royal clan. Figures left in a sorry state one after another, which made the cultivators outside breathe a sigh of relief. Fortunately, these powerful families and sacred grounds could still intimidate these immemorial royal clan. There was still a glimmer of hope for the human race. In addition to the eastern wilderness, the western desert, Nanling Mountains, and northern plains were the same. Some sacred grounds and sects directly surrendered and ceded 5 million miles of land. Some negotiated with each other to reduce the land. Some directly drove the immemorial royal clan away. In short, the atmosphere around the world was very tense. However, Jianghu was not so lucky. The divine dynasties and sacred grounds in Jianghu were very depressed. Especially those divine dynasties near Qinling Mountains, their expressions were even more ugly. They had no choice because the nest of 10,000 dragons was here. The nest of 10,000 dragons was the nest of dragons. The dragons were the immemorial royal clan and were very terrifying. Moreover, among the dragons there had been a great emperor. The dragon emperor was very famous. Even now, there were still people who remembered his records. One could imagine how terrifying the dragon emperor was back then. The dragon emperor must have left behind an extreme weapon to suppress in the nest of 10,000 dragons. Therefore, this was definitely a very dangerous place. Ever since the dragons revived, the surrounding Ninli dynasty and Great Xia dynasty directly abandoned that area. Chapter 2789. What made them heave a sigh of relief was that the dragons and the 10,000 dragons suppression never appeared and did not cause trouble for them. This made all the emperors and sect masters think that the nest of 10,000 dragons was already safe and sound. How could they know that all the powerhouses in the nest of 10,000 dragons were protecting the newly born dragon prince? They were plotting an even more terrifying plan. In addition to the dragons in the nest of 10,000 dragons, there were also a few terrifying royal families in the true spirit world. These were all races that had produced great emperors and emperors. Divine Phoenix Ridge. A great emperor had appeared in the Phoenix clan. The name of the immortal Phoenix was also very terrifying. Of course, among the 10,000 ancient races, not only the two royal families of the Nest of 10,000 Dragons and Divine Phoenix Ridge, there were also a few other royal families that were still sleeping. But thinking about it, it wouldn't be long before they all woke up one by one. Every once in a while, a new race would revive and appear on the earth. These human warriors were all in a state of panic. They were extremely uneasy. On the human side, Immortal Palace, Yi family, Gu family, Alcade Jade Pool, and the other Holy Land sects were all nervously preparing for war, to deal with the counterattack of the 10,000 ancient races. However, there was one more thing that shocked everyone. They didn't even dare to believe it. The news came from the central continent. Of course, it wasn't news from the Nest of 10,000 Dragons, but news from the Silver Lightning race. When the warriors of the true spirit world learned that the Silver Lightning race's emissary had entered Immortal Palace and made the same request, they were forcefully kicked out by Immortal Palace. Although no one knew the specific details, this result caused an uproar in the world. Heavens, is this for real? I don't dare believe it. That's right, is Immortal Palace already so strong? They actually dared to directly attack the 10,000 ancient races. That was the Silver Lightning race. Although it wasn't an ancient royal race, it was still a very terrifying race. However, they were actually kicked out by Immortal Palace's people. It was really unbelievable. Perhaps even those remote antiquity families didn't dare to do so. It was said that the one who attacked was none other than Immortal Palace's Hall Master Lin Xian. The other party was really strong. It's over. This brat definitely caused a huge disaster. He dared to do this because he was young and had Immortal Palace behind him. But he didn't know that he had provoked endless disaster for Immortal Palace. Just wait and see. The Silver Lightning race will definitely not take this lying down. At that time, when the great army arrived, Immortal Palace would be finished. Sounds of discussion sounded one after another. Everyone was first shocked by Lin Xian and Immortal Palace's power. After that, many people shook their heads and sighed. After all, they had completely offended the Silver Lightning clan. Offending a 10,000 ancient race was an extremely terrifying outcome. The Yi clan, Gu clan, Yao Guang, Jade Lake, and Dao Grade Holy Lands were all dumbfounded when they heard this. This was especially true for the remote antiquity families and the sacred ground sects that possessed extreme weapons. This Lin Xian was truly arrogant. Even though we possess extreme weapons, it's only enough to intimidate the 10,000 ancient races. We don't dare to actually attack them. Who would have thought that the other party would actually make a move? Where did he get that backing from? Could it be that their Immortal Palace also had extreme Dao weapons? That shouldn't be possible, right? He had never heard of any great emperor from Immortal Palace. While these people were discussing fervently, some other clans such as the Tuoba clan, the Five Elements Palace, and the Yin-Yang sect were sneering. Great, this guy is really courting death. Just wait, he will definitely be killed by the Silver Lightning clan. The Silver Lightning clan was indeed extremely furious. Ever since the experts they sent out returned, the Silver Lightning clan had been furious. Immortal Palace actually dared to beat back the emissary they sent out, and even made them kneel and kowtow. This was truly unforgivable. Damn it. This brat was too arrogant. What Immortal Palace master? In front of our Silver Lightning clan he is just an ant. Capture him and let him taste all the torture in the world. Let him kneel before our Silver Lightning clan for eternity. What Immortal Palace? How dare they be so arrogant, daring to use the name Immortal? Isn't it just an ordinary sacred ground? Directly destroy it. Let everyone know that the might of our Silver Lightning clan is not to be trifled with. These Silver Lightning clan experts all shouted angrily. Some of the elders among them also had gloomy expressions. However, soon the Silver Lightning clan's patriarch transmitted a message, telling them not to act rashly. Lin Xian had to be killed, and Immortal Palace also had to be destroyed. However, they still had to wait. This time, when the 10,000 ancient races revived, many races were on the same side, so they were all secretly plotting. Moreover, it was said that several royal families were going to make a big move. At this critical moment, they must not send out troops en masse and attract everyone's attention. Otherwise, the secret would be exposed. Damn it, let that brat live for a while longer. When the Silver Lightning clan experts heard the news from their patriarch, they all gritted their teeth. However, there were also some people who sneered. The patriarch said that they could not send out troops en masse. However, he did not say that they could not go out alone. What do you mean? We have just come into being so we can take a look at the prodigies of this world and see how strong they are. If they are weak and are killed by us on the spot, then they can't blame us." Several young prodigies of the Silver Lightning clan revealed sinister smiles. "However, that brat seems to be very strong. He even injured the emissary we sent out. In fact, his soul was even controlled," someone said with a frown. However, there were also some prodigies who sneered. "Was fine. He probably attacked with all his strength and caught us off guard, which was why he injured our emissary. Moreover, we only sent out an emissary. How can he be compared to us? As long as we can defend our souls and be careful of his sword energy, there is nothing to be afraid of." "That's right. I heard that the master of Immortal Palace, Lin Xin, has obtained the title of Central Emperor. He is one of the strongest prodigies of the human race in this world. Killing him is the fastest way to prove our strength." The three young prodigies left the Silver Lightning clan in a flash. Just as the prodigies of the Silver Lightning clan were preparing to attack Lin Xin, on the other side of the world, something unknown happened. In the western desert, there was a forbidden area called the Reincarnation Mountain. This place was extremely terrifying. Regardless of whether you were an ordinary person or an extremely terrifying saint, as long as you walked in, you would never be able to come out again. Therefore, as time passed, no one dared to appear around the Reincarnation Mountain. There were no trees or plants. In fact, no one dared to set foot in a radius of tens of millions of miles. It could be said that this was a true forbidden area. However, at this moment, a figure appeared in front of the Reincarnation Mountain. It was an old figure. This figure had the demeanor of a transcendent being, as if an immortal had descended. He looked at the Reincarnation Mountain in front of him, his eyes flickering like the vast stars. If Lin Xian and the others were here, they would definitely scream because this old man was their Immortal Palace's old palace master, Xia Juyo. Xia Juyo did not go to the nest of 10,000 dragons, nor did he go to snatch the immortal divine medicine. Instead, he came to the western desert, near the desolate Reincarnation Mountain. Chapter 2790. As expected, Xia Juyo walked towards the Reincarnation Mountain. The Reincarnation Mountain was 10,000 feet tall and looked similar to the other mountains. However, when one got closer, one would realize that there was a terrifying force that seemed to want to suck one in. Xia Juyo also felt this force. He frowned. Is this the power of reincarnation? He snorted coldly as a sacred aura rushed out of his body. Divine chains of order circled around him, blocking the power of reincarnation outside. In the next moment he strode forward. In an instant he entered the Reincarnation Mountain. The Reincarnation Mountain was 10,000 feet tall. It was very tall in the eyes of ordinary people, but in the eyes of these experts, it was very small. However, that wasn't the case. There was another world in the Reincarnation Mountain. It could even be said to be a world of its own. After entering, one would realize that it was extremely vast, as if it was really a new world. Boom. As soon as Xia Juyo entered, he realized that he was in a vast plain. It was tens of millions of miles wide and he couldn't see the end of it. On his left and right there were countless figures. On his left there were terrifying savage beasts. The savage beasts had monstrous auras and terrifying killing intent. They were all peerless monster kings. There were even a few beasts in the sky that were emitting sacred auras. Saint-level demonic beasts had actually appeared here. It was too terrifying. On his right there were thousands of soldiers and horses. There were also some demonic beasts, but they were all subdued by humans and used as mounts. One of the palms stretched out, carrying the sun, moon, and stars. It shrouded the sky as if it was going to replace it. A great battle broke out. Divine chains of order surged and terrifying roars shook the sky. There were even many long-lost mystic arts and secret techniques. The world exploded. Xia Juyo's body was shrouded in endless light. Buzz. In an instant, a biting cold aura rushed out of Xia Juyo's body. With a snort, all the images were wiped out. It was just an illusion. That's right, an illusion. The Reincarnation Mountain was a place of reincarnation. It could evolve the past, present, and future scenes. It was enough to pass off as real. Even saints could get lost in it. Xia Juyo was too powerful. He walked out of the reincarnation world in an instant. The surroundings turned dark again. Xia Juyo's body swayed and flew forward. After flying for an unknown period of time, an ocean finally appeared in front of him. It was also vast and boundless, with no end in sight. Furthermore, the seawater was black, incomparably black, as if it was the water of hell. In the middle of this black sea, a white bridge appeared. It was incomparably white and carried with it a strange aura. On the bridge there were 3 words written in flamboyant calligraphy. They were very simple and were written in the primordial language. However, Xiaojuyo could see it clearly. Bridge of Helplessness. River Styx, Bridge of Helplessness. Legend had it that they were 2 godly items from hell. But now, they had actually appeared in the Reincarnation Mountain. It had to be said that the Reincarnation Mountain was indeed a peerless forbidden area. Once these 2 terrifying items appeared, they would be able to block the path of a saint. In fact, if a saint were to fall inside, he would probably not be able to come out. However, all of this terrifying scene seemed to be insignificant to Xiaojuyo. He was like an immortal as he stepped onto the Bridge of Helplessness. His body erupted with terrifying divine light, blocking all of the aura of darkness. Finally, he crossed the Bridge of Helplessness. The scenery before them changed once more. It was as if they had arrived at a new world, surrounded by vast mountains. Boom, boom. Cracks appeared on the brown ground and there was even blood. In the distance, there were birds and beasts roaring. There were even human figures flickering. This scene was no different from the true spirit world outside. It even made people suspect that Xiaojuyo had already left the Reincarnation Mountain and arrived outside. Ahead, there were roars of demonic beasts and humans. There were even shocking vibrations. Clearly, something strange was happening. However, no one knew what it was. Xiaojuyo did not walk over. He stood on the brown ground and looked ahead like a divine lamp. Come out, everyone. Something big is happening outside. Xiaojuyo's voice rang out. Then the world changed. Endless black chi rolled as if a peerless demon king had appeared. Boom. A terrifying roar sounded as a black dragon appeared in the sky. It bared its fangs and brandished its claws, roaring loudly. The black dragon emitted a terrifying saint aura. It was actually a saint-level black dragon. There was actually a dragon here. What was even more shocking was that there was a human figure standing on the black dragon. It was a pitch-black figure with red eyes like a peerless demon king. The aura on his body was even more terrifying. It was as if he wanted to tear the entire world apart. There was another pure white light, and a beautiful woman appeared in the starry sky. She was surrounded by armor, and divine chains of order danced in the air. Because of her appearance, the surrounding plants and trees grew crazily. In an instant they reached a height of 1,000 feet. Ulfart, why are you looking for us? A loud voice rang out. The sky was instantly split in half, and the pitch-black crack would never heal. A blue-robed man walked over. He carried a long saber on his back, and his body emitted an unparalleled light. That sharp aura even made the divine chains of order tremble. One could imagine how terrifying this swordsman was. Old Xiao, what's the matter? Is there a new change outside? An ethereal voice drifted over. A black hole appeared in the sky. A green-robed man appeared from the black hole. He was half lying in the void, holding a wine gourd in his hand. His eyes were blurry as if he was drunk. You old drunkard. Xiaojuyo looked at him and shook his head. However, he quickly stopped smiling. His expression was extremely solemn. Something had really happened outside. The awakening of the nest of 10,000 dragons had triggered the awakening of the 10,000 ancient races. Now, more than half of the 10,000 ancient races had awakened. Among them, there was no lack of ancient royal races, and even 2 or 3 ancient royal races had awakened. And from the looks of it, the remaining few would also awaken in the near future. What? The 10,000 ancient races had awakened. Even those ancient royal races had awakened? The green-robed woman and the blue-robed swordsman had solemn expressions. In the sky, the middle-aged man drinking wine was also extremely surprised. How could this be? It's 300 years ahead of our deduction. Standing on the black dragon, the figure covered in demonic chi said coldly. As he spoke, the demonic chi on his body churned rapidly, and one could vaguely see his white hair fluttering in the wind. His face was very young and he looked to be in his 20s. This white-haired youth was very young, but no one dared to underestimate him. The aura on his body was too cold. Chapter 2791. The nest of 10,000 dragons was discovered in advance, and a group of sacred leaders and sect masters went in to explore. In the end, it triggered the awakening of the experts inside. Xiaojuyo briefly explained the situation outside. In the sky, a few stalwart figures listened with solemn expressions. Among them, the white-haired demon lord snorted coldly. This group of people really didn't know what was good for them. The green-clothed fairy goddess also sighed. Reincarnation was more damaged than we imagined. We haven't repaired it yet. Who would have thought that chaos was about to erupt outside again? What a coincidence. No, this matter must be stopped. With the descent of the 10,000 races, the human race will suffer a devastating blow. We must not let the events of the primordial era happen again. Our human race's great emperor has worked so hard for so many years. We must not waste it. The blue-clothed saber saint's voice was sonorous. It was really a crisis. The drinking uncle in the sky also sighed. We can't leave this place for the time being. At most, we can only send a few clones over. What they were most worried about now was the number of extreme weapons and the number of saints in the primordial theocrats. How many were there? Xiaojuyo took a deep breath. There were at least 3 extreme weapons, and the number of saints would definitely not be small. Moreover, the remote antiquity families and the few peerless great sage families wouldn't use their trump cards unless they had no other choice. Therefore, they would definitely be at a disadvantage. More importantly, the emperor's son and daughter were also resurrected this time. Their ability to rally people was too strong. The primordial theocrats would probably reach an unprecedented level of unity. This was the most fatal thing to the human race. As soon as these words were spoken, the stalwart figures in the sky fell silent. After a long time, the white-haired demon lord said in a deep voice, "What do you need us to do?" Next, Xiaojuyo began to transmit his voice to the stalwart figures. After hearing this, they frowned and transmitted their voice as well. In the end, both sides reached an agreement and set up a plan. There was no time to lose. Everyone acted together. They must intimidate the primordial theocrats. There must not be chaos. Xiaojuyo said in a deep voice. The others nodded and prepared to leave. However, at this moment, the drinking uncle in the sky smiled. "Old Xia, how is that kid? Not bad, right? He's beyond imagination. In the future, he will definitely be one of the strongest geniuses in the Great Emperor competition." Xiaojuyo said. "Of course. How could the person that I chose be wrong?" In the sky, the middle-aged man who was drinking laughed. However, Xiaojuyo sighed. However, the incident in the nest of 10,000 dragons this time was also caused by this brat. It was Xiao Qin who discovered the location of the nest of 10,000 dragons. That was why all the holy sovereigns and church masters chased after him. It was fate. However, that was also good. Those saints and saintesses were no longer enough to train him. It was a good opportunity for these prides of the far ancient royal family to compete with him. Let's leave the things that we couldn't do back then to him. Once those words were spoken, the surrounding figures were also astonished. Who was this young man that the other party was talking about? How could he receive such an evaluation? After all, regardless of whether it was Xiaojuyo or the figure within the black vortex in the sky, both of them were extremely terrifying existences. That god shocked them to the core. However, who was the young man that both of them were praising? How heaven-defying would it be? This made them very curious. At this moment, the figure in the black vortex in the sky put away the wine pot and said with a smile, "Old Xia, let me introduce you to another person, our new partner." "A new partner?" Xiaojuyo was stunned. To be able to become their partner, that person's strength was definitely earth-shattering. Because their strength wasn't as simple as just being a saint. As the voice fell, a ray of light flew over from afar and turned into a middle-aged man. He walked with majestic steps and a calm gaze, carrying an unparalleled domineering aura. Feeling the aura from this person, Xiaojuyo also narrowed his eyes. In front, the imposing figure looked at Xiaojuyo and said in a deep voice, "I'm Lin Zhan. Greetings, old Xia." "Lin Zhan," Xiaojuyo muttered. At this moment, the white-haired demon lord said in a deep voice, "He's qualified to stand side by side with me." The exceptional sword saint and fairy goddess nodded as well. Obviously, they also tacitly approved of Lin Zhan's strength. In the sky, the figure in the black vortex also stood up. "Old Xia, don't worry. His origin isn't simple either. If there's a chance, I'll tell you. Now, let's hurry up and make arrangements to intimidate the 10,000 ancient races." Alright, the few earth-shattering figures disappeared in the reincarnation mountain. In the vast land of the middle state, 3 silver silhouettes streaked across the sky like flashes of lightning. The imperial capital of the Divine Wind Empire is in front. Let's go there. Alright. One of the figures let out a cold laugh. 3 streaks of lightning quickly flew towards the imperial capital of the Divine Wind Empire. The Divine Wind Empire was one of the most terrifying empires in the middle state. Its imperial capital was, of course, incomparably prosperous. A huge city stood on the boundless land like a primordial beast. The dragon chi here was abnormally dense. Spiritual chi was everywhere. Especially in the depths of the palace, there were low dragon roars that weren't any weaker than the ones in the nest of 10,000 dragons. At this moment, 3 silver figures forcefully descended in the imperial capital. These 3 figures were very arrogant. They directly descended from the sky and even activated the Divine Wind Empire's array formation. Who dared to barge into the imperial capital? Cold snorts sounded one after another. Those experts wearing battle armor rushed out. Their cold gazes looked towards the sky. To enter the imperial capital, one had to pay spiritual stones from the south gate to enter. Who dared to directly descend from the sky? This was an act of courting death. In the sky the 3 figures sneered. We are the experts of the Silver Lightning clan. If you dare to leave with us, we will kill you without mercy. The 3 of them were very arrogant. They descended amidst the light of the array formation that filled the sky. What? The experts of the Silver Lightning clan. The cultivators in the imperial capital cried out in alarm. Countless gazes looked forward. They were indeed ancient creatures. They discovered that the 3 figures were very young, but their bodies were covered in silver scales and surrounded by terrifying silver lightning. Why were the experts of the Silver Lightning clan here? Could it be that something big was about to happen again? These cultivators were discussing fervently. The guards also had ugly expressions on their faces. One had to know that ordinary people, even people from other sacred lands, wouldn't dare to trespass into their imperial capital like this. But the other party dared to. Moreover, they really didn't dare to make a move. Because the other party was an ancient creature, an expert of the 10,000 ancient races, they could only report this scene. Soon the elders above sent down a message. They told the guards to retreat and ignore the 3 experts of the Silver Lightning clan. This scene caused the cultivators in the imperial capital to cry out in alarm. The Divine Wind Empire was silently admitting defeat. Chapter 2792. Yes, 3 young people could break the rules of the imperial court as they wished. Keep your voice down. They are godlike existences now. Don't provoke these ancient creatures. Otherwise you won't even know how you died. An older generation figure warned. Sure enough, wherever the 3 Silver Lightning race experts passed, the human cultivators all retreated. They didn't even dare to get close to them. This scene made the 3 Silver Lightning race geniuses very satisfied. What they wanted was this kind of respect. I wonder what the 3 of you are here for? An elder of the imperial family walked over and wanted to invite the 3 Silver Lightning race experts into the imperial palace. There's nothing else. We're just here to challenge a person. To be more precise, we want to teach a person a lesson. Teach a person a lesson? Who dared to provoke the experts of the Silver Lightning clan? Who was so reckless? Could it be that kid? They remembered the previous rumor that the Silver Lightning race's envoy was beaten out by Immortal Palace's Lin Xian. That's right, their guess was right. A Silver Lightning race heavenly genius spoke, precisely Immortal Palace's Lin Xian. Spread the news to the world. Say that we're waiting for him in the imperial capital. Tell him to wash his neck clean and come here to die. Since he dares to provoke us, he's dead meat. Lin Xian, it's really Lin Xian. They're actually going to attack Lin Xian. Heavens, this is truly a shocking piece of news. Lin Xian is not only the master of Immortal Palace, but also the Central Emperor. He's one of the 5 great titled geniuses of the human race. There aren't many geniuses in the human race who dare to challenge him. They didn't expect that the creatures of the 10,000 ancient races would actually attack him. Do you think that Lin Xian can withstand it? I don't know. It's rumored that the 10,000 ancient races are very terrifying. That's not necessarily true. Lin Xian is one of the top 5 geniuses. How can he lose? Discussions sounded one after another. Everyone was discussing animatedly. They knew about Lin Xian's strength. In the younger generation there weren't many people who were his match. However, they hadn't seen these geniuses of the 10,000 ancient races in action, but they knew about it from the legends. How terrifying were these 10,000 ancient races? Therefore, if the 2 sides really fought, it would be hard to say who was stronger and who was weaker. However, there were also people who were unconvinced. Sure enough, someone stepped forward. Although the 10,000 ancient races are strong, in terms of individual strength, you're no match for God Lin Xian. That's right, Lin Xian is the Central Emperor. How can you compare to one of the top geniuses of the human race? You are just relying on the fact that you have survived since ancient times and have ancestors in your family. Many people muttered softly. Clearly, they were very dissatisfied with the attitude of the 3 Silver Lightning race's sky prides. Rely on our family? Are we inferior to that human brat? What a joke. The 3 Silver Lightning clan experts were enraged. How can ants like you understand our strength and power? Whoever wants to die can come and try. Let's see if we are strong or not. The three of them stood there like fiend gods. Lightning constantly surged from their bodies, turning into lightning beasts that roared in all directions. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Today I'm going to experience just how powerful the legendary 10,000 ancient races are. A young man walked out from the crowd. It was him, Mo Tianyi. He was also a sky pride. Yes, he was a genius of the Mo family and he was very powerful. It was said that he had the combat strength of a saint, and it was said that he admired Lin Xian very much. He especially admired Lin Xian's 9-yang divine body. It seemed that this time he was going to make a move. Everyone retreated, but at the same time they were nervous and expectant. If a saint-level sky pride were to fight against the ancient creatures, they would definitely be able to detect the strength of these ancient creatures. After all, the saint level was still the top level among the younger generation. In front, the three Silver Lightning Race's sky prides looked at the young man who walked out with disdain in their eyes. You're the one who wants to challenge us? That's right, it's me. Mo Tianyi snorted coldly, and a golden light rushed out of his body, turning into golden giants that roared beside him. You're courting death. Great, I'll play with you. In front, one of the Silver Lightning Race's sky prides walked out and looked at the other party. Use your strongest attack, or you won't have a chance. You'll see. Mo Tianyi snorted coldly. Divine Radiance Palm. He made a move. He struck out with his palm, and the golden palm was like a Buddha, covering the sky and earth. The void instantly collapsed. You're overestimating yourself. How dare an ant compete with the sun and moon? In front, the Silver Lightning Race's sky pride sneered and threw out a punch. Silver lightning jumped on his body, wrapped around his fist and rushed forward. This silver fist was even more ferocious and domineering, and it carried a supreme aura. Boom, boom. The two collided and a bright light burst out. Waves of energy swept in all directions. Crack, crack, crack. Countless cracks appeared on the divine radiance palm, and then it shattered. What a terrifying power of lightning. Even the divine radiance palm couldn't resist it. It was too terrifying. The divine radiance palm was an extremely terrifying power of the light element, and it was said to be able to shatter everything. However, at this moment, it couldn't contend with the other party at all. Damn it. Mo Tianyi's expression also changed. He felt a violent power surging toward him. It was as if it was going to devour him and tear his body apart. The other party was too powerful, so powerful that it was beyond his imagination. He was already a saint prodigy. However, the other party's casual punch had caused him a fatal crisis. Scram. He roared, and his body was like a golden stream of light as he quickly retreated. At the same time, the golden giants on both sides blocked in front of him and attacked. The two light giants were indomitable like immortal kings. However, the Silver Lightning Race's sky pride sneered. With a furious roar, the lightning fist exploded. It instantly blasted the two light giants away. This energy also blasted Mo Tianyi, causing him to spit out a mouthful of blood. His body was charred black and the lightning had pierced through his body. Not only that, but his entire body was numb and he couldn't use any power. This lightning was too frightening. Mo Tianyi didn't attack again. His body was trembling and his face was filled with fear. Trash, you're trash. You can't even block one of my punches. The Silver Lightning Race's sky pride sneered, and the surrounding people were dumbfounded. Was that true? A saint prodigy couldn't block the other party's punch? The Silver Lightning clan was simply too terrifying. Moreover, the Silver Lightning race wasn't even a primordial royal race. Then how terrifying were the sky prides of the primordial royal race? Above the primordial royal race was the primordial royal race. Could it be that the primordial races were so much more powerful than humans? At this moment, many people's faces were filled with despair. You're just a bunch of ants. You were already our slaves. However, we were in a deep sleep which gave you humans a chance. Chapter 2793. After defeating Mo Tianyi, the voice of the Silver Lightning Race's prodigy sounded again, full of mockery and arrogance. Hearing this, the surrounding cultivators trembled and clenched their fists. Many of the older generation experts were also gnashing their teeth. However, without exception, none of them dared to make a move. There was nothing they could do. The other party's identity was too terrifying, and there were countless powerful races behind him. If they made a move, it would be declaring war on the 10,000 ancient races. Therefore, they could only gnash their teeth and stare at the other party. You ants, hurry up and inform Lin Xian to come over and die. With that, the three Silver Lightning Race's prodigies walked toward the palace. The news spread like a hurricane. When everyone learned that the Silver Lightning race's prodigies were so terrifying, they all sucked in a breath of cold air. At the same time, they were all looking forward to Lin Xian making a move. They really hoped that God Lin Xian would make a move. It would be best if he could kill these ancient creatures in one move. Yes, the other prodigies didn't dare to make a move at all. Perhaps only God Lin Xian would dare to make a move. Yes, the Yi family and the Gu family were all silent. Only the Central Emperor Lin Xian wouldn't be afraid of these 10,000 ancient races. Cries of surprise resounded in the true spirit world. Lin Xian naturally received the news as well. He frowned. 3 Silver Lightning races prodigies were waiting for him in the Divine Wind Imperial capital. They wanted to fight him? Where did this group of people get their confidence from? They even dared to fight him? He asked in a deep voice. It couldn't be an ambush, right? He wanted to see if there were any Silver Lightning races prodigies lying in ambush there. Lin Xian suspected that this was a trap for him. But very soon the news spread. Reporting to the palace master, there was no ambush. Only the 3 Silver Lightning races prodigies had arrived. At that time, it caused quite a commotion in the imperial capital. The Immortal Palace's cultivator quickly told Lin Xian what had happened in the imperial capital that day. After Lin Xian heard this, he frowned. So powerful? They didn't even put the Divine Wind Imperial capital in their eyes. These Silver Lightning races people were really courting death. However, when he heard that the Divine Wind dynasty did not do anything to the people from the Silver Lightning clan, he started to frown. And when he learned that the other easily defeated a prodigy at the saint level, Lin Xian's prodigies, he narrowed his eyes. Currently, the strength of an ordinary saint was equivalent to a late-stage 8-star. A little more, they were at the peak of prodigies. As for the top saints, they were equivalent to ordinary invincible kings. For example, Lin Xian was able to kill early 9-star invincible kings. Now, after being nourished by the dragon energy in the nest of 10,000 dragons, Lin Xian's 9-yang divine body and great dragon sword soul have improved once again. Therefore, he was now equivalent to a mid-9-star invincible king tier. In Lin S. No matter what stage he reached, Lin Xian was very confident in his trump cards. He didn't think that these Silver Lightning races people could defeat him. Since they're courting death, I'll fulfill their wish. Lin Xian stood up and prepared to head to the Divine Wind Imperial capital. The dark red divine dragon followed him. Of course, there was also a guardian in the dark, Xiao Wu. Ruffian Dragon activated the teleportation platform and directly teleported. Lin Xian didn't want to waste time. The dark red divine dragon set up a teleportation platform and tore through the void. The two of them disappeared. When they reappeared, they were in a mountain range. The dark red divine dragon looked around, then pointed ahead and said, "In another 20 to 30,000 miles, they should be able to reach the Divine Wind Imperial capital. Let's go." Lin Xian waved his hand, and the two of them quickly flew forward. In the Divine Wind Imperial capital, more and more cultivators gathered here. The reason for that was because they knew that a world-shaking battle was about to erupt here. Many powerhouses and geniuses of the Holy Land's great sects also rushed over, ready to watch the battle. The crowd even found that there were a few Archean creatures among them. Damn it, Archean creatures of other races are here. This scene caused them to be extremely shocked. Of course, these Archean creatures were also invited away by the elders of the Divine Wind Imperial capital. Which race are these Archean creatures from? They're so powerful. They're not weaker than the Silver Lightning race. Let's not talk about them. Why hasn't Lin Xian arrived yet? Perhaps he hasn't received the news yet. Or perhaps he's on his way here. Of course, among them, the people of the Tuoba family, the Yin-Yang sect, and the Five Elements Palace sneered. I'm afraid he doesn't dare to come. Don't judge Lin Xian with the thoughts of trash like you. Lin Xian's supporters sneered and retorted. That's right, Lin Xian is the Central Emperor, and he just defeated the Silver Lightning race's powerhouse. Why wouldn't he dare? You're the ones who don't dare to say anything. A saint's genius doesn't even dare to fart in front of these Archean creatures. Sneers and mockery sounded one after another. The geniuses of the Holy Land's great sects gritted their teeth and were about to vomit blood. Bus. The arrogant voice of the Silver Lightning race came from the palace again. Is Lin Xian here yet? If he is, tell him to get over here. I can kill him with one slap. The voice was like thunder, turning into an endless sea of thunder in the sky, forming thunderclouds that floated in the sky. These people were so suppressed that they couldn't breathe. It was too terrifying. They were in the palace, but they caused such a terrifying impact in the outside world. These 3 Silver Lightning Race's geniuses were really terrifying. Seeing this scene, the people of the Yinyang sect, the 5 Elements Palace, and the Tuoba family laughed. That was because they felt that these 3 Silver Lightning Race's powerhouses might really be able to kill Lin Xian. Half a day later, there was a sudden commotion at the gates of the imperial capital. Screams and exclamations could be heard. Lin Xian is here. What? The Central Emperor Lin Xian is here? The cultivators in the city also received the news and moved out one after another. In an instant, the streets, the sky, and all kinds of restaurants and shops were filled with people. Human figures. These people were not ordinary people. They were either the older generation's powerhouses or peerless geniuses. Every single one of his identities was shocking to the public. But now they were all waiting for one person. They were all waiting for Lin Xian. Lin Xian strolled leisurely with the dark red divine dragon beside him. Wherever the 2 of them passed, the crowd parted like a tide. No one dared to stop them. So powerful. Why do I feel that his aura has become stronger again? That's right. Could it be that his strength has increased again? What a monster. Everyone looked at Lin Xian and exclaimed, "Is this the dragon beside Lin Xian? Is it really a dragon?" It's absolutely true. I saw it with my own eyes in the nest of 10,000 dragons. Chapter 2794. The dark red divine dragon bared his teeth and glared at the people around him, scaring them so much that they didn't dare to speak. Coming to the front, the dark red divine dragon shouted at the top of his voice. "Where are the 3 Silver Electric Race guys? Tell them to get over here. I'll roast them and eat them." He was too angry. Someone actually dared to shout at him. He really didn't know what was good for him. "Snake, you're courting death." An angry voice came from the palace. In the sky, the huge thunderclouds trembled and erupted with endless lightning. They surged down, wanting to kill the dark red divine dragon. "You want to hurt me with this little bit of lightning? I'll spit on your face." He opened his dragon mouth and endless seawater surged out, surging in the sky and colliding with the thunder that filled the sky. The seawater completely annihilated the thunder and even scattered the thunderclouds in the sky. So powerful. Seeing the dark red divine dragon break the attack of the Silver Electric Race powerhouses with a casual attack, the surrounding cultivators also screamed. In the distance, 3 figures instantly arrived nearby like lightning. Their faces were gloomy as they stared at the dark red divine dragon. It was indeed a dragon. The intelligence was right. Damn it, this kid actually had a dragon by his side. He shouldn't be from the nest of 10,000 dragons, so we don't have to worry about him. The 3 of them quickly communicated. If he was really from the nest of 10,000 dragons, they would probably have knelt down by now. Unfortunately, the dark red divine dragon wasn't a dragon from the nest of 10,000 dragons. The 3 Silver Electric Race powerhouses snorted coldly and ignored the dark red divine dragon. Instead, they stared at Lin Xian. "Kid, you're finally here." The 3 of them formed a triangle and surrounded Lin Xian. Their bodies emitted a biting cold killing intent, forming a unique domain that enveloped heaven and earth. "The 3 of you want to challenge me? And you even said that you want to kill me with a slap?" Lin Xian looked at the 3 of them. He stood with his hands behind his back, looking calm. "That's right, it's us. Kid, you actually dare to injure the emissary of the Silver Electric Race and challenge the authority of the Silver Electric Race. You really want to die. Don't you know that you used to be our slave?" Lin Xian smiled. "You said it yourself, that was in the past. How many tens of thousands of years had passed? The strength of the human race is far beyond your imagination. I'll give you a chance. Apologize obediently and scram. I can spare your lives. Otherwise your fate will be." This voice was laced with a biting cold threat. Upon hearing this, the 3 Silver Lightning Clan experts were immediately enraged. Dazzling thunder exploded from their bodies, piercing through all directions. The surrounding martial artists quickly retreated. The elders of the royal family even activated the array formation. Flickering runes appeared on the streets and on the buildings. Seeing the royal capital activate the formation, the surrounding cultivators heaved a sigh of relief. Once again he watched with peace of mind. "There's no point in talking anymore. Let me see what kind of ability you have to dare to kill me with a single slap." Lin Xian looked at the 3 of them and said, "You 3 can come at me together. There's no need for the 3 of us to deal with you. I alone am enough." One of them stepped forward. It was him who had defeated Mo Channy with a single punch. "Kid, remember me? I mean Feng." The Silver Lightning Clan expert stepped forward, his expression filled with boundless arrogance. Killing you with a single slap is enough. Offending us is the biggest mistake you've made in your life. Your aura is not bad and your eyes are cold. Unfortunately, you don't have the right to be arrogant in front of me. Lin Xian shook his head and sighed. Why are there always people who don't know what's good for them and want to challenge me? You're courting death. Yin Feng's expression was solemn, and a biting cold light burst out from his eyes. He raised his palm, and an endless sea of lightning spread out from his hand, forming a large silver palm that shone brightly in the sky. Feeling this palm, the peerless powerhouses all trembled. Even the invincible kings felt their scalps go numb. So powerful. This Yin Feng definitely had the strength of an invincible king. No wonder he could defeat Mo Tianyi with a single punch. Everyone exclaimed in shock. Boom. In the sky, the large silver palm carried incomparably mysterious runes as it descended from the sky, enveloping Lin Xian, wanting to smash him into pieces. Lin Xian stood there with his hands behind his back, a confident smile on his face. He didn't move at all. He waited until the palm was right above his head before he raised his hand. His hand clenched into a fist as he charged forward. Boom. The two collided. With a deafening sound, 100,000 thunder fell from the sky. The entire imperial capital's array shone, and runes flickered, forming a super defense. The terrifying energy bombarded, and the sound of stormy waves could be heard. Endless energy waves rushed into the clouds, tearing the sky apart. Too terrifying. The surrounding cultivators exclaimed in shock. The commotion caused by the two's attack was too terrifying. If there weren't any arrays, this attack could probably destroy half of the imperial capital. And these people wouldn't be able to escape either. What terrifying thunder. Even invincible kings didn't dare to touch it lightly. The silver runes on the palm were the bloodline power of the Silver Lightning clan. It was too terrifying. These immemorial creatures had a unique advantage. Exclamations could be heard. Beside him, the other two experts from the Silver Lightning clan were also sneering. How dare he fight with Yin Feng? He was really courting death. This time, his arm would probably be crippled. Not only that, but half of his body would also be smashed. The two of them were very confident. The sea of lightning that filled the sky slowly disappeared. When the crowd saw the situation in the sea of lightning, they were all stunned. Their minds were blank and their eyes were wide open in disbelief. Especially the other two geniuses from the Silver Palace clan who screamed. Impossible. Crazy, they were all crazy. Because they saw Lin Xian standing there with his hands behind his back, his body radiating a golden light. As for their companion Yin Feng, he was in a very sorry state. The lightning on his body dimmed and his entire arm was deformed. His palm was cracked. Fresh blood dyed his body red. Injured, Yin Feng was actually injured. Damn it, this is impossible. I don't believe it. Yin Feng's physique was so strong and he even used his bloodline power. This attack should have at least seriously injured him. If he was lucky, he could even kill him. But now, Yin Feng was actually injured and his opponent was unharmed. The two experts from the Silver Lightning clan went crazy. They could not accept this fact. The surrounding warriors also sucked in a breath of cold air. The silver palm just now made even the invincible kings tremble, but he could easily block it and even seriously injure his opponent. Ah! The nine-yang divine body is indeed powerful. That's right, Lin Xian is mighty. What Silver Lightning clan, how dare you fight with me, Lin Xian, in close combat? You're courting death. Do you know what the nine-yang divine body is? Lin Xian's supporters began to mock and ridicule. The dark red divine dragon also sneered. Among the 10,000 ancient races, there were probably not many people who dared to compete with Lin Xian in terms of physique, except for those with extremely strong physiques. After being nourished by the dragon's aura in the nest of 10,000 dragons, Lin Xian's nine-yang divine body had reached the 5th stage of the 2nd level. Chapter 2795. Lin Xian retracted his palm and sneered. Is this what you meant when you said you wanted to kill me with a single slap? Unfortunately, you haven't eaten for tens of thousands of years. Your strength is pitifully weak. Why don't I teach you what it means to kill someone with a single slap? At this point, Lin Xian's eyes shone with a piercing light. His nine-yang divine body released endless light, and balls of nine-yang divine fire surged out, illuminating the world. As his voice fell, he also raised his palm and slapped forward. His palm transformed into a huge golden millstone that could destroy everything. Not good. Yin Feng's pupils shrank, and the surrounding people exclaimed. The expressions of the other two silver lightning race prodigies changed drastically. This palm was too terrifying. The two of them turned into a gust of wind and rushed forward. They came in front of Yin Feng and fought against him. There was an earth-shattering bang. The three silver lightning race prodigies were forced back, and their blood was boiling. Yin Feng was even more affected by the impact of the energy. He cried out and spat out blood again. Lin Xian looked at them and sneered. What? Can't bear it anymore? Finally, the three of you want to attack together? Come on, don't waste my time. Lin Xian waved his hand, looking impatient. This scene made the three silver lightning race prodigies gnash their teeth in anger. When had they ever been looked down upon like this? The surrounding Lin Xian supporters also went crazy with mockery. Hey, what 10,000 ancient races? 3 against 1? Do you have any shame? That's right. You were so arrogant before, saying that you could kill our god Lin Xian with a single slap. Why don't you try it now? Give them a chance. Even if the three of them fight against one, they won't be a match for Lin Xian. These people sneered again and again. The three silver lightning race prodigies were about to vomit blood. Among them Yin Feng gritted his teeth. The two of you don't make a move. Let me deal with him personally. I must kill him. Yin Feng's eyes were filled with killing intent. The power of lightning appeared on his body, and his broken arm recovered. Alright, be careful. This kid seems to have learned an ancient body tempering technique, the 9 Yang divine body. Don't fight him head-on. They had heard of the power of the 9 Yang divine body. After all, it was a technique that had been passed down for a long time. Don't worry, I know. Yin Feng nodded. He was indeed careless. He didn't expect the other party to have cultivated the unparalleled 9 Yang divine physique. But so what? Apart from close combat, he had plenty of other methods and divine abilities. Lightning bolts of the 9 Yangs. The moment the silver knife appeared, it emitted a biting cold blade light that illuminated the 9 heavens and 10 earths, causing everyone's bodies to tremble as if they would be cut in half at any moment. What a terrifying blade. That was a treasure, 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 treasure. Those older generation figures also exclaimed. There was no need to even think about it. These ancient life forms were definitely taking out ancient treasures. S was a Wurzaf. It wasn't over yet. Then a ray of light shot out from Yin Feng's forehead, turning into a silver mountain that floated above his head. The silver mountain was incomparably majestic, emitting a terrifying aura. Thousands of rays of light shrouded Yin Feng. Boom, boom, boom. This silver mountain was too terrifying. As soon as it appeared, the surrounding space quickly collapsed, and countless large cracks spread in all directions. The surrounding prodigies were also suppressed to the point that they couldn't breathe. How terrifying. Yin Feng actually took out 2 ancient treasures in an instant. Lin Xian was probably in danger. Kid, go to hell. Yin Feng snorted coldly. He waved his hand and the silver knife flew out. Although it was small, it was extremely sharp. It pierced through the void in an instant. How terrifying. It can already threaten a mid-stage 9-star king. I wonder if Lin Xian's 9 Yang divine body can withstand it? Sensing the silver flying dagger, Lin Xian frowned as well. It was indeed terrifying. It reminded him of Li Xuanxian's little Li flying dagger. However, it was still slightly inferior to the little Li flying dagger. In the next moment he would use his fist. Heaven battling divine fist. Boom, boom, boom. The golden fist shook heaven and earth, and a sonorous sound echoed in the sky. The silver knife was sent flying, dancing wildly in the sky. However, it soon circled again under the control of Yin Feng. Kid, you're dead. You won't be able to block my knife. The silver knife in the sky suddenly enlarged, turning into a giant knife that slashed down. Its sharpness also became stronger and stronger. Not good, I didn't use my full strength before. This silver knife is probably more powerful than we imagined. The expressions on the faces of the older generation changed. Even Lin Xian's supporters gasped in shock. Great God, Lin Xian, be careful. Lin Xian also frowned. Indeed, its power was much stronger than before. With a cold snort, endless sword chi rushed out of his body. It was densely packed like a rain of swords. In the next moment, it collided with the terrifying silver knife. A sonorous sound rang out, and the silver knife was sent flying once again. What? Impossible. Was sent flying. The 2 silver lightning experts were stunned. Yin Feng's expression froze. He couldn't believe it. In the next moment he wanted to roar, but soon he began to tremble. Lin Xian waved his arm, and the sword chi between heaven and earth flew toward him. They collided with the silver mountain, making a sonorous sound. Damn it, block it. Don't worry, he can't break through Yin Feng's defense. Behind him, the two silver lightning experts sneered. However, their smiles soon became firm. Because in their eyes, the silver mountain that they were so confident in was pierced by tens of thousands of swords, and large holes appeared one after another. It's just a Dharma treasure. How dare you act so arrogantly in front of me? Lin Xian burst out with a biting cold light. He had already arrived in front of Yin Feng. Holding a sword chi in his hand, he slashed down from the sky. With a slash of his sword, he split the silver mountain in half. What? How is this possible? Not only did the humans scream, but the other immemorial creatures also came out of the palace. They just happened to see this scene, and their scalps went numb from fear. They knew that the silver lightning race was powerful, especially Yin Feng, who was even more terrifying. However, his Dharma treasure was actually split in half by a single slash of his sword. Who exactly was this human youth? Their gazes were all fixed on Lin Xian. Yin Feng vomited large mouthfuls of blood. At this moment he was at a loss. Impossible, damn it, I don't believe it. The sword light slashed down, and his arm was directly sent flying, blood flowing wildly. The pain brought him back to reality. Damn it. He realized that there were more than a dozen piercing sword lights coming down from above. He was scared out of his wits and he quickly dodged. However, how could he dodge? Soon his body was cut into pieces. Ah! Yin Feng screamed and his body reassembled in the distance. His face was pale and his face was filled with malevolence. I want you dead. Chapter 2796. The silver saber also flew into his hand. Kill me? I'm afraid you don't have that ability. Lin Xian snorted coldly, and the sword chi on his body became more and more piercing. He struck out with the ancient dragon abyss sword, which was surrounded by countless dragon-shaped auras. With a slash of the sword, the silver saber was once again sent flying. Yin Feng was even split into two halves. This scene caused everyone to be stupefied. Especially those archaic creatures, their faces were filled with shock. This person was too powerful. Who exactly was he? A terrifying physique and terrifying sword technique. Damn it, how could he have such a powerful attack? These people exclaimed in shock. At this moment Yin Feng screamed in the sky. His two halves turned into streams of light and kept fleeing. Damn it, you dare to kill me? He realized that Lin Xian didn't stop at all. The piercing cold sword light once again enveloped him. So what if I kill you? Lin Xian's voice was cold. I'm a genius of the silver lightning race. If you kill me, the silver lightning race won't let you off. Yin Feng screamed. He couldn't believe that a human dared to kill him. The other two geniuses of the silver lightning race also shouted angrily. Damn brat, stop it now. You're dead meat. If you dare to kill him, the silver lightning race will tear you into pieces. The two of them rushed forward, wanting to save Yin Feng. Lin Xian stretched out his left hand, which turned into a golden mountain that descended from the sky, directly blocking the path of the two geniuses of the silver lightning race. At the same time, the ancient dragon abyss sword in his hand quickly slashed out. The sword pierced through the other party's head. The power of the great dragon sword's soul destroyed the other party's soul. With a scream, the two halves of the corpse fell to the ground, no longer breathing. This scene caused everyone to be stupefied. The entire scene was silent. Those archaic creatures were also shocked and couldn't believe it. No. The two silver lightning race powerhouses roared crazily. Dead. Their comrade was actually dead. Killed by a human. This was something they didn't dare to imagine. One had to know that they were geniuses of the silver lightning race from the 10,000 archaic races. When they first came, even the Divine Wind Dynasty didn't dare to provoke them and respectfully invited them in. In their eyes, no one in the world dared to kill them. But now, this kid in front of them had no scruples and directly killed their companion. How dare they? Was he not afraid of the Silver Lightning Clan's revenge? Madman, this kid is a madman. The two geniuses of the Silver Lightning race roared madly. Kill him together and avenge Yin Feng. The two of them roared angrily, releasing terrifying attacks that shook the golden palm. The golden palm released a rumbling sound as it was pushed aside. The two of them charged over. But soon they were scared out of their wits. The sword slashed out, like the roar of a peerless giant dragon, enveloping them. Damn it, it was only now that they realized how powerful his sword chi was. No wonder Yin Feng was killed. It was too terrifying. It was hard to imagine that a young man could unleash such a shocking sword aura. Damn it, what kind of swordsmanship is he practicing? The two of them didn't know. However, they didn't have much time to think. One of them opened his mouth and spat out a silver shield in front of him. The other person turned into a bolt of lightning and quickly dodged. Clang puff. The silver shield was split in half by the sword. A huge crack appeared on the body of the Silver Lightning Clan's prodigy, and his internal organs were exposed. The other figure also screamed in pain. His legs were cut off by the sword light and blood flowed wildly. All the martial artists in the royal capital who were watching the battle were stunned. He injured 2 prodigies of the Silver Lightning Clan with a single sword strike? Powerful, he was too powerful. Could it be that Lin Xian didn't use his full strength when he killed Yin Feng? Yes, that must be it. Lin Xian was too mighty. As expected of the Central Emperor, the top prodigy of the human race. The faces of the older generation were also filled with astonishment. Damn it, who is this kid? They had to find out his identity. The Archean creatures' faces were gloomy. The other party was too powerful and posed a great threat to them. They had to find out who the other party was, what kind of swordsmanship he used and what his background was. Should they save the 2 prodigies of the Silver Lightning Clan? One of the Archean creatures asked in a deep voice. This Archean creature had strange patterns that crawled all over his body. Especially the 2 sides of his cheeks, they were furry. It was very strange and it made people who saw it feel their hair stand on end. The young man in front of him was the same, but his aura was stronger than his. The young man shook his head. Don't panic. Let's wait and see. The 2 prodigies should be able to hold on for a while. If we save them at the most critical moment, the Silver Lightning Clan will do us a favor. Yes. The Archean creature behind nodded. His eyes flashed with a shocking light, and he was ready to save them at any time. They thought that the 2 prodigies of the Silver Lightning Clan could hold on for a while, but they realized that they were wrong. The 2 prodigies of the Silver Lightning Clan were defeated. They had no choice. Firstly, Lin Xian was too powerful. Secondly, they were too shocked and their minds were still blank. Therefore they were soon seriously injured. Their bodies had even recombined 5 times. This made their faces pale and the power in their bodies was quickly draining away. Oh no, let's go. The 2 of them screamed. They were too careless. They had to go back and report to the prodigies of the clan so that they could kill the detestable kid in front of them. You want to leave? Lin Xian used the Yin-Yang 8 steps. His speed was extremely fast, and he directly blocked the path of the 2 prodigies. Damn it, let's split up and run. The 2 prodigies of the Silver Lightning Clan roared and ran in the opposite direction. No matter how fast the other party was, they didn't believe that he could stop the 2 of them. However, they were still thinking too much. Lin Xian waved his hand, and the dragon sword domain flew out, turning into a sword dragon. It surged in the sky and directly enveloped one of the prodigies of the Silver Lightning Clan. He, on the other hand, was blocking the path of another genius. What last words do you have? Lin Xian looked at the other party and said coldly. Damn kid, how dare you kill me? The Silver Lightning Clan. Before he could finish, blood spurted out from between his eyebrows, and his body split in half. His soul was destroyed by the sword. This scene shocked everyone. The expressions of the Archean creatures also changed drastically. It was too fast and too decisive. The other party killed them with a single sword strike, leaving them no chance to attack at all. Hurry up and save the last one. The young Archean creature spoke. Immediately, the 2 figures behind him rushed out, wanting to save the last prodigy of the Silver Lightning Clan. This was originally their plan. If they could do the Silver Lightning Clan a favor, why not? However, they didn't expect Lin Xian's sword chi to be so fierce. Chapter 2797. Save me. The last Silver Lightning Clan genius was shrouded by the dragon sword domain. He was also retreating in defeat as countless sword chi pierced through his body. There was no other way. These sword chi contained the power of the dragon sword soul. How could he resist it? But fortunately he saw the other 2 ancient creatures coming to save him. He was very clear about these 2 ancient creatures. They were from the ancient demon spider clan. Their strength was very terrifying, not weaker than the Silver Lightning Clan. In fact, they were a little stronger. Therefore, with the help of the other party, he would definitely be saved. Sure enough, the 2 ancient creatures opened their mouths and spat out white spider webs, covering the sky and the earth, enveloping the dragon sword domain, trying to bind it. Oh no, it's the ancient demon spider clan. On the human side, some of the older generation figures also screamed. The ancient demon spider clan was very terrifying. It was rumored that they had the bloodline of the heavenly demon spider. It was rumored that their spider webs were very hard, and even the top magic treasures and heaven-grade weapons could not cut them open. If bound by this magic treasure, even an invincible king would not be able to escape. What's so terrifying? Damn it, is the ancient demon spider clan also going to make a move? Won't Lin Xian be in danger? Many people began to worry about Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted coldly, and the dragon sword domain in the distance suddenly erupted. It shattered the white spider king spat out by the ancient demon spider above. Then he burst out an unparalleled sword chi and pierced the body of the last Silver Lightning clan genius. His body was torn to pieces, and his soul was mercilessly destroyed. Oh! The Silver Lightning race's prodigy let out a blood-curdling scream and vanished into thin air. The two experts of the Archean demon spider clan who had rushed over were also stunned. Their faces were gloomy and terrifying. Dead, the last Silver Lightning clan member was also dead. This made their rescue plan completely fail. Damn kid, how dare you kill him? Their eyes were like lightning, staring at Lin Xian. In an instant, the void around Lin Xian shattered, and two rays of light pierced toward him like divine arrows. They wanted to pierce through him. Lin Xian's long sword swept horizontally, directly sending the two gazes flying. In the next moment, the dragon sword's spiritual domain enlarged in the sky, floating above the heads of the two ancient demon spiders. What, do you want to die too? Lin Xian looked at the other party. He did not have a good impression of these ancient creatures. The other party was too arrogant and insolent. How could Lin Xian be willing to accept the fact that they were all treated as slaves? It was no longer the primordial era. These primordial life forms did not have the right to be arrogant in front of him. You dare to attack us? You're courting death. The two ancient demon spiders were enraged. The one on the left stretched out a palm with a terrifying pattern on it, and grabbed down from the sky. On his right, he pointed his finger at Lin Xian's glabella. It was as if his entire body was a sword. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Lin Xian's expression was ice-cold. The ancient dragon abyss sword in his hand emitted a blinding light as he slashed forward. Boom! Boom! The ancient sword waved, and the dragon-shaped sword chi danced. The entire void was completely torn apart. In the next moment, the three people's attacks collided in the sky. An extremely resplendent light burst forth as waves of energy surged in all directions. Boom! The terrifying energy was vast and mighty. A strange rune appeared on Lin Xian's body, and there was no need to dodge at all. The energy only made a thunderous sound on his body and could not hurt him. However, the other two experts of the ancient demon spider clan kept retreating. They retreated more than 10 steps in a row before they stopped. Damn it! Their faces were full of shock. Their fists and fingers were directly cut off, and blood dripped down, piercing through the void. When the surrounding martial artists saw this scene, they exclaimed, "So powerful!" Lin Xian was too terrifying. The two ancient demon spiders attacked, but they were helpless and were injured instead. Even the other Archean life forms were shocked by this scene. Was this the strength of the Central Emperor? Damn it, when did the human race become so powerful? What had they experienced in the past 10,000 years? They gritted their teeth, and the leading young man also frowned. He may be one of the top geniuses of the human race. It was not surprising that he could injure them. Then do we still have to attack? Many people asked in a low voice. The young man shook his head. No, let him live a little longer. We have other things to do. With that, he waved his hand, and the two ancient demon spiders in front flew back. The young man who led the ancient demon spiders glanced at Lin Xian, and then rushed into the sky with his people. The group quickly rushed into the sky, ignoring the array, and directly tore the void and left. The ancient creatures had left. Everyone looked at this scene, shocked and in disbelief. Lin Xian's supporters burst into cheers. Lin Xian was too powerful. That's right, it had always been the ancient creatures that scared others away. Now, our Lin Xian could scare away the ancient creatures. These people were pleasantly surprised. Lin Xian's eyes were also shining. The ancient demon spiders, he felt that the young man who did not attack was very powerful. He should be a genius of that race. Thinking of this, Lin Xian shook his head and prepared to go back. But at this time, the elder of the Divine Wind dynasty appeared again. He said with a smile, "Temple Master Lin, take care." "Oh, what's the matter?" Lin Xian asked with a frown. "Our Holy Lord invited Temple Master Lin to the palace for tea." "Okay." Lin Xian nodded. Since he was already in the imperial capital, it was not a big deal to take a stroll. Lin Xian took the dark red divine dragon, and the two followed the imperial family elder and flew toward the palace. The others were envious. Sure enough, the strong were respected in this world. Whether it was the ancient creatures or Lin Xian, They were all respected by the imperial family elders. It should be known that these elders would not even care about an invincible king. But their attitude toward Lin Xian was so respectful. On the other side, the ancient demon spiders flew into the sky and left the ancient capital of the Divine Wind Dynasty. That spirit herb is about to mature. We have to hurry. We can't let others take it. The young man in the lead said in a deep voice. The ancient creatures beside him were also excited. This was an extremely precious spirit herb that was 8,000 years old. It had a magical effect on the ancient demon spiders. So they were determined to get it. There was someone in front. After a while, they suddenly felt a strong energy fluctuation in front of them. Who was it? Could it be an expert from the human clan? The ancient creatures were shocked. However, the young man in the lead said, "No, it's similar to our aura. It's an ancient creature. It's an expert of the Silver Lightning race." An expert of the Silver Lightning race? The ancient creatures were also very surprised. The young man in the lead sneered. There was a good show to watch. These Silver Lightning race experts who spread the news in the imperial capital. Chapter 2798. That's great. Who told this brat to be so arrogant? How dare he fight against our ancient demon spider clan? The archaic creatures were also very excited. Let's go. They quickly moved out. Soon they arrived in front. A sea of lightning spread out in front of them, forming a thundercloud. There were a few figures on the thundercloud. One of the graceful figures was half lying on the thundercloud. Around her, there were many ancient creatures serving her. Don't look at how young this girl was, her identity was frighteningly great. Even these immemorial demon spiders were extremely respectful towards her. The young man who took the lead shouted respectfully, "Greetings, Sister Hua." "Oh, it's you, little guy." The graceful figure on the thundercloud glanced sideways at the young man from the primordial ancient demon spider clan and then nodded. "Why did you bring your men here?" "I just woke up, so I brought people out to play. After all, it was too boring to sleep for so many years. However, big Sister Hua, I have a piece of bad news here." "Bad news? What bad news?" The graceful figure frowned. "In this world, who dares to go against the 10,000 ancient races?" The mysterious woman was very confident. In her opinion, no one dared to provoke them. However, the young man from the ancient demonic spider shook his head, and his face became serious. "Sister Hua, I have to tell you. Sister Hua, I just found out from the imperial capital that 3 geniuses from the Silver Electric clan were killed in the Divine Wind imperial capital." "What?" Hearing this, the mysterious woman was stunned. Ancient creatures were killed, and they were the geniuses of the Silver Electric clan. How could this be? Is the news confirmed? The mysterious woman asked in a deep voice. The young man from the ancient demon spider clan nodded. "It's true. We saw it with our own eyes and we even helped them. But the enemy is too decisive. She directly killed the 3 geniuses of the Silver Electric clan and even injured our people. Sister, please look." As he spoke, he pointed to the 2 ancient creatures behind him. These 2 were the ones who fought with Lin Xian before. Their palms were cut off by Lin Xian, and they had not healed yet because the remnant aura of the great dragon sword soul was difficult to erase. Damn it. The mysterious woman was finally angry. It seemed that the news was true. Who was it? Tell me who did it. How dare you kill a prodigy of the Silver Lightning clan? Was it one of those Saint Lords? Or the Emperor of the Divine Wind Dynasty? In his opinion, only these people would dare to make a move against them. No, it wasn't those sacred leaders and sect masters. It was a young man. Young people? Who was it? Among the younger generation, was there anyone who could stop the 3 prodigies of the Silver Lightning clan? The mysterious woman couldn't believe it. The young man from the ancient demon spider clan said, "Elder sister, do you remember that some time ago the emissary of the Silver Electric clan was beaten up?" Hearing this, the expressions of the ancient life forms on the thunderclouds turned ugly. The mysterious woman called Hua furrowed her brows. "I naturally knew that it was done by Immortal Palace's palace master. Humph, my Silver Lightning tribe will naturally not let him off. It was good that his elder sister knew about him. This time, it was precisely that Immortal Palace's hall master who took the initiative. It was he who had come to the imperial capital and personally killed his 3 brothers from the Silver Lightning clan." What? It was that Immortal Palace's palace master again. Silverflower was thoroughly enraged, and the ancient life forms serving her were also brimming with killing intent. "Master, let me go and kill him." These ancient life forms were not from the Silver Lightning clan, but the mysterious woman in front of them. She used her powerful strength to subdue other races to serve her. This kind of subjugation was very common among the 10,000 ancient races. Because these 10,000 ancient races worshipped power, it was very common for them to be subdued. At this moment, these ancient life-form servants were very angry. Yin Hua's face was gloomy. No need, this time I will personally kill him. He was thoroughly enraged. So what if the other party was Immortal Palace's palace master? No matter how powerful he was just a human. In front of the 10,000 ancient races he could only kneel. He actually dared to resist? Where was he? He should still be in the imperial capital. Even if he left, he couldn't have gone too far. Let's go. With a roar, the thunderclouds in the sky turned into a thunder dragon. With a roar, it drilled into the clouds and disappeared. Only balls of lightning were left, still rolling in all directions. Looking at the disappearing figure, the young man from the ancient demon spider clan curled his lips into a smile. The next moment he also waved his hand. Let's go. These people also left. Yin Hua's speed was very fast. Not long after, she saw a majestic city below. Immediately she frowned. It seemed that this should be the imperial capital of the Divine Wind dynasty. Master, do you want us to directly go down and capture that kid and kill him? There's no need. Yin Hua shook her head. That kid dared to attack us, which means he has something to rely on. Let's see how many invincible kings he has with him first before we make a move. First, seal the surroundings. Behind him, 7 or 8 ancient lifeforms swayed and came to the 4 corners of the world. Yin Hua went to the 9 heavens and looked down with her cold eyes. She would not enter the imperial capital. She had to wait until she met him outside. As soon as he came out, she would kill him mercilessly. In this way she could guarantee that no one and no formation would stop her. In the Divine Wind Dynasty's imperial capital, Lin Xian and the Divine Wind Dynasty's sacred master drank tea and chatted for a while. Then Lin Xian came out. After leaving the palace, he and the dark red dragon's figures swayed and also disappeared from the street. Soon they left the imperial capital and soared into the sky. Master, that kid is out. In the south, an ancient life form quickly transmitted his voice. Immediately, Yin Hua opened her eyes in the 9 heavens. Buzz. A jade-like hand reached out and grabbed downwards. Thunderbolts that blotted out the sky and covered the earth descended, each of them as thick as a bucket. They were densely packed and covered the entire space. This scene was as if the world was about to be destroyed. Damn, someone is plotting against us. Below, the dark red dragon screamed. Lin Xian also frowned. What was going on? They had just come out and they had already suffered such terrifying lightning. This must be a plot. Who was it? Damn it, it was those people from the Silver Lightning race. The dark red dragon gritted his teeth. These lightning bolts were from the Silver Lightning race. He was very sensitive to these lightning bolts. Lin Xian also snorted coldly. Kill. With a furious roar, an unparalleled light erupted from his body as he rushed up to the lightning bolts. The dark red dragon followed behind him and also waved its dragon claws. Lin Xian's body was abnormally strong. Even if he was hit by these lightning bolts, it only made clanging sounds. He went against the heavens like a peerless god of war and arrived at the 9 heavens. Who dares to sneak up on me here? Get out here. His voice was like thunder as it rolled out. The people in the imperial capital were shocked. What was going on? Was Lin Xian going to attack again? Were the powerhouses of the Silver Lightning race going to attack again? These people rushed out one after another. Chapter 2799. You're the one who killed the powerhouses of the Silver Lightning race? A pair of cold eyes appeared in the sky, carrying with them the power of lightning. Everyone trembled in fear. Lin Xian also felt a wave of pressure. The great dragon sword soul in his body roared and instantly relieved the pressure. Golden runes flickered in his eyes as he faced the attack. That's right, it's me. Who are you? Are you from the Silver Lightning race? If you want revenge, come here and die. Good boy, you have guts. But you're too reckless. As he spoke, heaven and earth rumbled, and endless lightning descended and enveloped Lin Xian. Then he tore open the void and disappeared. No, Lin Xian has been teleported out. Many powerhouses cried out in surprise and quickly chased after him. They all rose into the air. However, the scene of Lin Xian and the mysterious man had already disappeared. Where did they go? They're probably millions of miles away. Should I go and take a look? Let's go and look for them. In the imperial city, many people began to search in all directions. On the other side, Lin Xian frowned. Who is the other party? What a terrifying technique. It doesn't seem to be the younger generation. After all, the younger generation did not have such terrifying strength, and he would not have felt so much pressure. Be careful, boy. That's a treasure. The dark red dragon said from the side. The two of them had strong physiques so they could withstand the endless lightning attacks. It seems that she has teleported us out. No, I can't let them succeed. What if it's a trap? Lin Xian said. Ruffian dragon, think of a way to destroy it? Don't worry. The dark red dragon said. He waved his dragon claws and began to break the array. Although the other party was using a treasure, it was still a kind of array formation. He was very proficient in it. With Lin Xian's help, it did not take long for the two of them to break through the sea of lightning and rush out. Damn it, you're finally out. How dare you plot against me? I want to see who it is. As soon as the dark red dragon came out, it roared in all directions. Lin Xian's body was surrounded by endless sword light. You're quite capable to come out. No wonder you were able to kill the prodigies of my Silver Lightning clan. In the sky, the cold voice sounded again. Upon hearing this voice, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon looked up at the sky. They could see a mysterious woman standing above the 9 heavens with an icy expression, as if she were a queen staring down at them. Around them there were 7 archaic life forms firmly surrounding them. The 7 archaic life forms all had different expressions on their faces. Clearly he was not a member of the Silver Lightning clan. Could it be that these ancient creatures had joined forces? If that was the case, then things would be troublesome. No. The dark red dragon shook its head. They should be slaves. The dark red divine dragon had a better understanding of these primordial creatures. Therefore he explained. When Lin Xian heard this, he heaved a sigh of relief. As long as the 10,000 ancient races didn't join forces, there wouldn't be a problem. He could tell that the mysterious woman in the sky was very powerful. His strength had reached the late stage of the 9-star king realm. Even among the invincible kings, he was an extremely terrifying existence. Kid, let's work together. This guy is too strong. He's probably an old monster. The dark red divine dragon transmitted his voice. He naturally felt how powerful the other party was. Lin Xian nodded, and the sword chi on his body became even colder. The dark red divine dragon let out a roar, displaying endless dragon might. Above, Silver Flower frowned. You're that dragon? Dragons are actually in cahoots with ant-like humans. You're really embarrassing the divine beasts. However, since you're not a dragon from the nest of 10,000 dragons, then don't blame me for being impolite. I heard that drinking dragon blood can allow the 10,000 ancient races to evolve. Today I'm going to verify if this legend is true. She looked at the dark red divine dragon, and a cold light burst out from her eyes. Bah, you want to compete with your Grandpa Long's blood? Do you want to die? In a while, I'll beat you until you're looking for your teeth on the ground. You don't know death. Above, Silver Flower made her move. A silver light flickered in the sky, tearing the void apart. A terrifying silver lightning blade slashed towards Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon. Wherever it passed, everything was cut in half. No power could resist it. Boom, boom. Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon resisted head-on. The two of them also attacked. An intense collision sound rang out. Then the two of them retreated, shattering the void. What terrifying power! Lin Xian's chi and blood roiled, but he quickly suppressed it. As expected of a late-stage 9-star king, she was indeed terrifying. This power was so terrifying. On the other side, the dark red divine dragon was also grinning. Clearly, that attack just now also gave him a lot of pressure. Kid, you're quite capable. You were actually able to block my attack without being injured. But unfortunately, I only used 10,000 units of the ancient era's power just now. That's not my full strength at all. In fact, I didn't even use half of my strength. In the sky, Silver Flower's voice was cold, and her eyes were filled with disdain. Her casual attack made the two of them retreat. If she attacked with her full strength, she could guarantee that she could easily kill these two people. 10,000 units of the ancient era's power? What was that? Lin Xian frowned. He didn't understand at all. The dark red divine dragon at the side explained. This was a calculation method of the 10,000 ancient races. Reaching 9-star king, the weakest would have 9,000 units of the ancient era's power. It wouldn't be weaker than this. And these invincible kings, because of their different bloodlines and talents, there would be differences in strength. The 10,000 ancient races had developed a method that could describe the strength of this kind of strength. They called it the ancient era's power. It was said that the weakest 9-star king, Thailand, had 9,000 units of the ancient era's power, and the strongest had 100,000 units of the ancient era's power. However, reaching 100,000 units of the ancient era's power was already the limit of a king. It seemed that no one could break this rule. Further up was the power of a saint. I didn't expect you to know so clearly, as expected of the dragons. But it's a pity. So what if you know clearly? The cultivation of the two of you should only be peerless powerhouses, right? Two mere 8-star kings being able to compete with the invincible kings of Class 1 is already very heaven-defying. They can indeed become geniuses. But it's a pity that you met me. I won't give you a chance. To tell you the truth, my full strength is 30,000 units of the ancient era's power. Do you think the two of you can compete with me? What? 30,000 units of the ancient era's power? Hearing this, the dark red divine dragon was shocked. This kid seems to be an incredible fellow. Lin Xian was also shocked. Although he had just learned about the rules of the 10,000 ancient races, from the description of the dark red divine dragon, an ordinary 9-star invincible king would have 9,000 units of the ancient era's power. But the other party had 30,000 units of the ancient era's power. The gap between them was simply too great. Ruffian dragon, how much archaic power do you have? What about me? Lin Xian asked. Chapter 2800. If I go all out, I have about 20,000 units of Archean power, and so do you. The dark red dragon said. Of course, if your great dragon sword soul goes all out, it will definitely increase. Both of us have more than 20,000 units, so we have more than 40,000 units in total. We can definitely kill him. Lin Xian was puzzled. Why was the other party so confident? The dark red dragon shook its head. It wasn't as simple as 1 plus 1. Otherwise, a group of 8-star kings would be heaven-defying. One had to know that 10,000 units of Archean power was equivalent to a difference of 1 realm. It was very difficult to make up for it. Of course, this is only my estimate. Who knows how terrifying your great dragon sword soul will be when it goes all out? The dark red dragon transmitted its voice to Lin Xian. Lin Xian nodded. He understood that the Archean power should be a guess of one's strength. However, it was only a guess. It wasn't 100% certain. For example, if his great dragon sword soul was injected with unlimited power, it could kill a sage. Thinking of this, his eyes burst out with a piercing cold light. You believe in this Archean power too much. Today I'll let you see that the current world no longer belongs to you. The sword chi on Lin Xian's body became sharper and sharper. Ants, you're courting death. In the surroundings, the 7 Archean creatures were also furious. Someone actually dared to speak to their master like this. He was courting death. They quickly charged over. In an instant, the 3 of them arrived around Lin Xian. These 3 Archean creatures each had about 10,000 units of Archean power. Their attacks were truly terrifying. One of them turned into a black mountain and pressed down from the sky. Another person spat out terrifying flames that turned into fire crows that danced in the sky, emitting terrifying heat. The last person pulled out a jet black ancient saber and slashed down, cutting the void in half. Boom. Lin Xian made his move. First, he sent the Archean demonic mountain flying with a punch. Then he slapped the jet black saber in half with a palm. His entire body was bathed in a sea of fire, and he was fearless. He easily sent the 3 Archean creatures flying with 3 punches. The 3 Archean creatures kept retreating, smashing through the void and turning into a bloody mist. What? He was actually this strong. The remaining 4 archaic creatures were stunned. Those were 3 early-stage 9-star powerhouses. Each of them possessed roughly 10,000 units of ancient power. Yet, even with the 3 of them working together, they were still killed so easily. This kid was too terrifying. And he was just a young man? Had the human race become so terrifying? They were dumbfounded. In the air, Silverflower's voice was ice-cold. The 4 of you retreat and don't attack. This brat should have about 20,000 units of ancient strength. Unless the 2 of you work together and kill him in one blow. Otherwise they wouldn't be his match at all. That's right, a difference of 1,000 units of Archean energy was already a terrifying gap, let alone 10,000 units of Archean energy. This was absolutely a merciless crushing. Therefore, even if the remaining 4 ancient creatures attacked, it would be useless. However, Yinhua was not worried. After all, she had 10,000 more Archean powers than him. Similarly, she could easily crush him. Boom. Sure enough, in the next instant, Silverflower attacked. The thunderclouds in the sky pressed down and condensed above Lin Xian's head. That terrifying power of thunder filled the entire space. Countless spatial cracks spread out in all directions. Boom. Lin Xian also brandished the Dragon Abyss ancient sword. An incomparably shocking light burst out from the long sword, cutting apart the thunder that filled the sky. However, there were simply too many lightning bolts this time around. They were densely packed together and seemed to be endless. Even if it was cut open, there was still more pouring in from all directions. In an instant, it completely enveloped Lin Xian. "Brat, be careful." The dark red dragon roared and spat out balls of flames to fight against the remaining lightning bolts. The two of them attacked together, attacking this mysterious woman. "It's useless. Even if the two of you work together, you're still not my match." Yin Hua controlled the thunderclouds in the sky to contend with it. But soon her expression changed. Because she discovered that in the sea of lightning below, a roar came. It was like the roar of a giant dragon, causing her expression to stiffen. Immediately after, the sea of lightning was cut open, and a figure holding a killing sword quickly rushed over. What? He actually rushed out. Yin Hua was extremely surprised. The other four ancient creatures screamed repeatedly. They knew how terrifying their master was. No matter how powerful this kid was, he could not contend with their master. But now the other party actually charged out. It was truly beyond their expectations. "You want to trap me with a mere sea of lightning?" Lin Xian snorted coldly and quickly brandished his long sword, charging towards Yin Hua. The sword light in the sky flickered, shattering the space around Yin Hua. Yin Hua's face was gloomy, and her figure dodged lightly. On the other side, the dark red divine dragon also rushed out, transforming into a 1,000-feet-long divine dragon, roaring non-stop. At this moment, endless lightning also rushed out of his body, contending with the sea of lightning around him. As dragons, moving clouds and summoning rain, breathing fire and releasing lightning were the most basic. So how could the dark red divine dragon be afraid of this lightning? "Is this all you've got? Take out your true ability and let me see." Lin Xian looked at the other party and said coldly. At this moment, the 9-yang divine body on his body bloomed with light, and endless sword chi surrounded it, making him look like a peerless war god. "You reckless thing, since you're courting death, I'll fulfill your wish." Yin Hua snorted coldly. With a wave of her jade-like hand, terrifying thunder descended. This time the lightning was even more terrifying. It transformed into lightning with 5 different colors, the 5-colored divine lightning. The terrifying power was enough to kill a late-stage 9-star invincible king. "Do you think I'm afraid of you?" Lin Xian used the 9-yang divine body to the extreme. At the same time, dragon-shaped sword chi rushed out of his body and rushed forward. The dark red divine dragon also roared and used the dragon's great divine ability to contend with it. In an instant the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The three of them attacked, and there was not a single place within a radius of millions of miles that was intact. On Lin Xian's body, mysterious runes flickered and terrifying light pulsed. Balls of 9-yang divine fire erupted, and like a golden war god, he resisted the 5-colored lightning. One had to admit that the 5-colored lightning was very terrifying. When it hit Lin Xian's body, it was charred black. However, the 9-yang divine body was still able to forcibly resist it. 5-colored wild lightning slash. Yin Hua shouted and waved her jade-like hand. Immediately, 5-colored lightning gathered in her hand, forming a 5-colored lightning blade that slashed down. The dark red divine dragon was shocked when the blade slashed out, and Lin Xian's pupils shrank. The 9-yang divine body also split open. Terrifying cracks appeared on it, revealing deep white bones. Blood dripped down from it. It dyed the void red. "Haha, that kid is injured." Chapter 2801. The dark red divine dragon was also shocked. "Kid, are you alright?" He opened his mouth and spat out the Jiao dragon scissors. He quickly activated them and turned them into 2 dragons. They rushed forward and blasted the remaining 5-colored lightning away. This guy was too terrifying. After all, he was an archaic expert. "Hurry up and use the half-step saint artifact." And Lin Xian nodded. He also took out the 9-story pagoda. In an instant, their strength increased to 25,000 archaic power. "A half-step saint artifact? I didn't expect you to have such a treasure in your hands." Silverflower looked at the half-step saint artifacts in their hands. Her eyes flickered, and a hint of passion appeared in her eyes. Half-step saint artifacts weren't cabbages. Even she didn't have many of them. She could have one more, it would be a huge fortune. "It seemed that the two of you had a lot of treasures on you. I'll kill you and everything you have will be mine." She stretched out 2 big hands and grabbed forward. Although the two of them had used half-step saint artifacts, their archaic power was still inferior to hers. She wasn't afraid at all. Boom. Boom. The three of them exchanged more than 100 moves. The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The dark red divine dragon gritted his teeth. Damn, this woman was too terrifying. She could actually resist a half-step saint artifact with her bare hands. Was this a late-stage 9-star invincible king? It was too terrifying. Lin Xian was also shocked. He could now easily kill early-stage 9-star invincible kings. He could even kill mid-stage 9-star invincible kings. However, he didn't expect a late-stage 9-star invincible king to be so terrifying. He took out a half-step saint artifact to fight against her. He even joined hands with the dark red divine dragon, but he still couldn't injure her. This scene was truly unbelievable to him. Buzz golden runes flashed in his eyes, and a soul attack instantly surged out. Buzz. Silverflower's body stiffened, and the lightning on her body also stopped. A trace of emptiness appeared in her eyes. Great, attack quickly. The two of them waved their attacks and charged forward. Bam. Silverflower was blasted away and she spat out a mouthful of blood. However, her body didn't split open. The 5-colored lightning around her formed a 5-colored armor that enveloped her body. After retreating for tens of thousands of miles, Silverflower stopped. She screamed, "Damn it, I'm going to kill you." She was truly too furious. She was a grand archaic expert. He was actually sent flying by 2 human ants. If news of this were to spread, how would she be able to maintain her standing among the 10,000 ancient races? He would probably lose all his face. Soul attack. Damn it. You actually have a soul attack. Brat, I won't forgive you. Silverflower roared, and the power of her bloodline burst forth, forming a lotus between her eyebrows. It defended her soul, preventing her opponent from using another soul attack. Killed with a shout, she suddenly appeared beside Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon, giving them a fright. What incredible speed. Lin Xian's pupils constricted. His opponent's speed was too fast. It was hard for them to react. In an instant, the opponent's 5-colored divine lightning enveloped the two of them. There were many cracks on Lin Xian's body. The dark red mystical dragon's body was also charred black. At the critical moment, Lin Xian roared, "Xiao Bai." The snow-white little monkey instantly rushed out. Raising its hand, it slapped Silverflower's face directly. 3 seconds of dizziness. Even a late-stage 9-star king like Silverflower was affected by the snow-white monkey's divine power. These 3 seconds gave Lin Xian and the dark red mystical dragon an opportunity. The two of them instantly rushed out of the 5-colored divine lightning. At the same time, Lin Xian's eyes exploded with a cold light. He directly drew his dragon-shaped sword and slashed forward. The dark red mystical dragon also spat out a mouthful of thick blood, staining the dragon's scissors. Buzz. The dragon's scissors trembled, and the two dragons released endless blood-colored light as if they had come alive. Their power increased greatly. Boom, boom, boom. The two's earth-shattering attacks landed on Silverflower's body. The 5-colored armor on Silverflower's body instantly shattered, and the 2 rays of light sent her flying again. This time, she retreated hundreds of thousands of miles. Silverflower once again spat out large mouthfuls of blood. Lin Xian's sword chi even left a sword mark on her body. Injured, master is actually injured. Damn it, that's impossible. The 4 archaic life forms' faces were filled with fear. They didn't dare to believe that a brat could actually injure their master. Was this heaven-defying? Silverflower stopped, her body trembling with anger. The 5-colored thunder surrounded her, enveloping her injuries. However, she frowned. Damn it, there was an aura left in her injuries that her 5-colored divine lightning couldn't erase. What kind of sword chi was that? How could it be so terrifying? Silverflower was extremely shocked. Even with her 30,000 archaic life force, she couldn't erase that sword chi. That was too shocking. Damn it, what was that sword shadow in this brat's hand? It was too surprising. One had to know that she estimated that the other party was only a young genius with 20,000 archaic life force. Even if she used a half-step sage artifact, such a terrifying weapon, she could only reach 25,000 archaic life force. But that sword strike just now had at least 28,000 archaic life force. This was simply too shocking. One had to know that her full strength was only 30,000 archaic life force. The other party was only 2,000 archaic life force lower than her. It was too shocking. She was a late-stage 9-star powerhouse. The other party was only a peerless early-stage 8-star powerhouse. How many realms were there between the two of them? Damn it, there must be something wrong with that sword shadow in the other party's hand. Silverflower gritted her teeth. She swore that after killing the other party she must obtain that sword shadow. Brat, you've completely angered me. Although you have many treasures on you, there's still a gap between you and me. Silverflower's expression was extremely cold. The aura on her body became more and more terrifying. The entire air was filled with violent thunder, as if an apocalyptic heavenly tribulation was about to erupt. Boom, boom, boom. Around her, lightning beasts appeared one after another, emitting a terrifying aura, causing the entire world to change color. Boom. With a palm strike, under the power of the Silver Point race's bloodline, the five-colored divine lightning was terrifying to the extreme. This power could look down on everything. Not good. Brat, don't take it head-on. The dark red divine dragon roared and recalled the dragon's scissors. It circled around him, forming a powerful defense. At the same time, he once again used the great ability of the dragons to contend with it. Lin Xian's expression was also incomparably solemn. He had to admit that the other party's strength was too strong. This power was still enough to threaten him. Even if he had the nine-yang divine body, it wouldn't be enough. With a roar, the nine-yang divine body bloomed with endless light. Golden runes flashed in his eyes as he searched for a place where the energy between heaven and earth was weak. He quickly used the yin-yang 8 steps to dodge. The sword qi in his hand constantly waved, piercing through the weak energy and entering it. Chapter 2802. But in the end he actually survived. When the storm disappeared and the palm landed on the ground, Lin Xian's body had some wounds, but they weren't serious. Kid, do you have any ideas? The dark red dragon came to Lin Xian's side. Why don't the two of us work together to activate the dragon sword shadow? And Lin Xian nodded. It seemed like that was the only way. The dark red dragon spat out a mouthful of blood onto the dragon-shaped sword shadow. Buzz. The dragon-shaped sword shadow trembled as if it had come to life, bursting out with an unparalleled light. The light of the 9 heavens and 10 earths was completely pierced by the sword qi. At this moment, the 4 archaic creatures knelt on the ground, trembling non-stop, unable to raise their heads. Yinhua's expression also changed. Damn it, this power, what the hell is this thing? Her expression was solemn as she used the 5-colored divine lightning to the extreme. At the same time, she took the initiative to attack. Because she knew that the other party's attack was enough to threaten her. Attack. Lin Xian roared as he poured all his power into the dragon-shaped sword shadow. The dark red dragon did the same. The dragon sword shadow rumbled and turned into a giant sword shadow that was thousands of feet long. It slashed down from the sky. Yinhua also attacked. A pair of 5-colored palms went against the heavens and attacked Lin Xian and the dark red dragon. But she was still a step too late. The dragon-shaped sword shadow in the sky slashed down and collided with the 2 5-colored palms. Between heaven and earth, endless light flickered. The area within 5 million miles was completely enveloped by this terrifying energy. Boom, boom. The ground cracked and the mountains collapsed. Countless demonic beasts below were turned into ashes by this energy. The aftermath spread out in all directions like a huge earthquake. Those warriors who rushed over from the imperial capital couldn't find it at first. But now that they felt this power, their expressions changed as they looked into the distance. What a terrifying aura. In the distance, a pillar of light that reached the sky flashed like a heavenly sword. There were 5-colored divine lightning, like a heavenly tribulation. Over there it should be that battle. Let's go and take a look. They determined the direction and quickly rushed over. A fierce collision occurred between heaven and earth. The dark red dragon and Lin Xian kept retreating. The damage caused by the aftermath of this energy was simply too great. The two of them directly entered the black earth. The black earth kept rolling and colliding, but fortunately, it was incomparably sturdy and wasn't damaged. The 4 ancient life forms were directly turned to dust by this energy. They had no time to escape. Silver Flower was also heavily injured. The slash slashed through the 2 5-colored palms and landed on her body, shattering her 5-colored armor once again. Not only that, but the sword also split her body in half. Silverflower's miserable voice rang out, piercing through the 9 heavens and 10 earths. It was too miserable. Her body was directly split apart. The 2 halves of the corpse floated in the sky. Blood surged around her and dyed the void red, forming a sea of blood. Damn it! Silverflower roared madly, and the 2 halves of her body quickly healed together. However, in an instant it split apart again. The aura of the dragon sword soul was too terrifying. Even a late-stage 9-star king like Silverflower couldn't completely destroy it. Unless it took a long time. But now where could he find so much time? On the other side, Lin Xian and the dark red dragon walked out again. Lin Xian snorted coldly, and the dark red dragon also exclaimed. As expected of the dragon sword soul, it's indeed powerful. It can even kill such a terrifying ancient life form with a single slash. Kid, what do we do now? Looking at Silverflower, who was still broken after more than 10 times, the dark red dragon asked with a smile. Lin Xian's eyes burst out with light. Of course we'll destroy her soul. The other party wanted to kill him, so how could he hold back? Hearing these cold words, Silverflower's soul screamed, "Damn kid, you dare to kill me? I'm a powerhouse of the Silver Electric race. If you kill me, the Silver Electric race won't let you off." I've already heard this 3 times. Not only you but also those 3 prodigies. However, I still managed to kill him. So, such threats are useless against me. If you want to threaten me, try something new. Lin Xian sneered, and golden runes flashed in his eyes. He activated the soul ignition secret technique, and Silverflower's soul seemed to be ignited. She screamed crazily. "Ah, damn it! Soul attack! Bloodline power, condense for me!" She roared crazily, and her soul controlled the surrounding sea of blood to crazily wrap around her. Although her body was gone, the sea of blood reformed and formed a blood person, temporarily wrapping around her soul. Silverflower couldn't stop panting. That attack just now had caused her soul to be injured as well. "Kid, just you wait. I won't let you off." A body formed by blood let out a cold voice. The next moment, the bloody hand waved and covered the 2 halves of the corpse. Then, Silverflower controlled the blood in the sky and ran into the distance. To be honest, she was too shocked. The other party's sword chi was too strange. Her broken body couldn't heal. This was something she had never encountered before. So she had to leave quickly. After returning to the clan and healing her body, she would kill the other party after recuperating. Now she had to ensure her safety. "You want to leave? Do you think you can?" Lin Xian snorted and waved the dragon-shaped sword again. Streaks of sword chi slashed at the blood. The blood was quickly obliterated. In an instant, 1/3 of the blood was cut clean. Silverflower screamed crazily. She was really scared. The other party was too terrifying. She didn't dare to say anything. She just ran crazily. She quickly formed hand seals and burned her blood to form a bloodline secret technique. She directly tore through the void and escaped. "Not good, kid." She used a bloodline secret technique and burned her blood. "Chase after her." The dark red divine dragon exclaimed. Lin Xian also frowned. Indeed, the other party was too fast. He couldn't find her in an instant. He activated the heavenly secret divine eyes. A pair of golden eyes above his head looked down at the ground. Soon he discovered a monstrous blood-colored aura millions of miles away. "Found her. Let's go." Ruffian Dragon used the array formation. The 2 of them activated the array formation, tore through the void and quickly chased after her. In front of them, Silverflower increased her speed after using a secret technique. Then she heaved a sigh of relief. She swore that she would definitely take revenge. She would capture those 2 people and cut them into tens of thousands of pieces. However, not long after, she screamed. She was so scared that she almost wet her pants. The reason for that was because she discovered that not far away, space had split open, and 2 figures had actually appeared. "Damn it! They're here. How is this possible?" Chapter 2803. This scene scared Silverflower out of her wits. She used her secret technique again and didn't hesitate to burn her blood to escape. Lin Xian also activated the array formation. The 2 of them flew quickly in the sky, one in front and one behind. There were many figures in front of them. They were the human cultivators who were rushing over to watch the battle. Silverflower didn't know that. She thought that these people were called over by Lin Xian to surround and kill her. Therefore she screamed, "Damn human, go to hell!" With a furious roar, the terrifying blood turned into a blood sword and rushed forward, slashing forward. In an instant, the void in front of them shattered. Many human cultivators were instantly killed. There were even a few invincible kings among them. Seeing this scene, the remaining warriors screamed like they had gone mad. "Damn it, demon, he's a demon." He killed several invincible kings with a single sword strike and brought so many peerless almighties with him. Was this something a human could do? The powerhouses of the 10,000 Archean races were too terrifying. Damn it, was Lin Xian fighting with such a person? Where was he? Could it be that he had been killed? No way, did you say that Lin Xian had died? These people were extremely shocked. Many of the saints and saintesses' eyelids twitched. Indeed, such an ancient powerhouse had exceeded their range of tolerance. They probably couldn't even withstand a single move from the other party. If Lin Xian were to fight with such a person, the odds would be stacked against him. The people from the Yinyang sect and the Tuoba family all sneered. If Lin Xian was really killed, it would be great. It would be something worth celebrating. However, very soon they were stunned. Their expressions became extremely ugly, and their eyes were filled with intense fear. They all trembled. Because the void not far away cracked open and two figures walked out. It was Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon. After Lin Xian came out, he slashed forward with his sword. Let's see where you can escape. Seeing that the other party was chasing after her again, Silver Flower screamed and turned into a wave of blood that rolled into the distance. Damn brat, just you wait, I won't let you off. She screamed as she ran. Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon quickly gave chase. The surrounding human ancient martial art practitioners were stunned. Their minds were blank and they could not believe what they were seeing. What did they see? Lin Xian was pursuing an ancient powerhouse. And this ancient powerhouse could casually kill several invincible kings. Heavens, how is this possible? I'm not dreaming, am I? When did Lin Xian become so powerful? These people were all crazy. The saints and saintesses in particular were trembling in fear. Previously they had thought that Lin Xian had been killed, but who would have thought that things were not as they had imagined? It was Lin Xian chasing after the experts of the 10,000 ancient races. This scene was simply too shocking. Lin Xian was incomparably domineering, chasing after Silverflower until she had no path to heaven and no door to hell. Finally, at 9 million miles, Lin Xian caught up to him. Using the great dragon sword soul and the heavenly fate god eye, he destroyed his opponent's soul. Two halves of the body fell to the ground, sinking the ground. A sea of blood surged and enveloped the surroundings. Within a radius of 5 million miles. It was directly shattered. Nothing could be done about it. This was the blood of an ancient powerhouse. It contained extremely terrifying energy. Every drop was incomparably terrifying. Kid, don't waste this blood. It's good for us. The dark red divine dragon began to set up an array. The array rotated, collecting the surrounding blood. Lin Xian nodded. It was just right to use it to temper the 9 yang divine body. Bus. He entered the array, and the endless blood of the ancient powerhouse drowned the two of them. This blood carried monstrous killing intent and terrifying energy as it constantly bombarded Lin Xian's body. Lin Xian's body split open. He began to cultivate according to the cultivation technique of the 9 yang divine body. This scene was too terrifying. Monstrous blood energy soared into the sky. That shocking aura was something that even invincible kings did not dare to casually step into. Therefore, the surrounding human martial art practitioners did not dare to approach at all. They could only watch this terrifying scene from outside. They were all guessing if that ancient powerhouse had fallen. Moreover, no one dared to go and watch. After all, even invincible kings were not enough to deal with that level of powerhouse. Amidst the vast mountains, a group of figures descended. These people were dressed in strange clothes and they were very strange. There were terrifying patterns on their bodies. Obviously they were not humans. These were the people of the ancient demon spider group. After they left the imperial capital, they came to this mountain range to look for the 8,000-year-old spiritual herb. The place where this spiritual herb was located was a damaged ruin, which should have been left behind by an ancient powerhouse. Therefore there were terrifying remnants of the array. There were even a few terrifying demon kings guarding the area. After all, the 8,000-year-old spiritual herb was not only wanted by these ancient creatures, but also by those powerful demon kings. The young man of the ancient demon spider clan, 4 Souls, led his subordinates and began to break the array. He had even killed 2 powerful demon kings. Boom, boom. Suddenly the earth trembled and the surrounding mountains collapsed as if there was an earthquake. The sky shook and the earth shook. What was going on? What happened? Could it be that another demon king had come? Those ancient demon spider clan powerhouses were puzzled. 4 Souls also frowned, and a piercing light burst out from his eyes, sweeping in all directions. However, he did not find any powerful demon kings. The next moment he looked up at the sky, and a hint of surprise appeared in his eyes. At this moment the sky was dyed red, and a boundless aura was gathering in this direction. It was so terrifying. What was this? The other ancient demon spiders also saw this scene. They all rose into the air and looked into the distance. What a terrifying blood. Had a peerless powerhouse fallen? Or was he practicing some strange cultivation method? They looked into the distance and exclaimed. The monstrous energy contained in this sea of blood was too terrifying. Why do I feel that this blood is so familiar? It contains a terrifying power of thunder and lightning. Could it be the blood of a powerhouse of the Silver Lightning clan? An ancient creature muttered in a low voice. As soon as this was said, the expressions of the others changed drastically. Don't talk nonsense. How could a powerhouse of the Silver Lightning clan fall? Although 3 geniuses have fallen, the blood of the 3 of them added together isn't as terrifying as this. This is definitely a peerless powerhouse. Who can kill such a powerhouse? Who dares to kill him? The ancient creatures were puzzled. 4 souls also frowned. The situation is not simple. Perhaps a terrifying human powerhouse has made a move. 4 souls' expression was also solemn. Chapter 2804. They carefully hid their auras and ignored the terrifying sea of blood. Instead, they sped up their attacks on the damaged ruins. On the other side, in the endless sea of blood, Lin Xian's 9 sons' body was rapidly absorbing the power in the blood. A heavy aura burst out as if there were thousands of mountains in the sky. Finally, Lin Xian let out a long roar, and the sea of blood that filled the sky shattered. The energy was all absorbed by him and the dark red divine dragon. His divine body had broken through to the 6th stage of the 2nd heaven. His strength and defense were much stronger than before. The dark red divine dragon's strength had also increased. The dragon blood in his body surged, bringing with it a monstrous pressure. Awesome, it's really awesome. The dark red divine dragon roared excitedly. He really hoped that he could kill a few more of these ancient powerhouses. Indeed. Lin Xian nodded. These ancient powerhouses contained extremely terrifying bloodline power. Their energy was not inferior to the spiritual herbs of those characters. However, this kind of thing could only be encountered by chance. Lin Xian had spent a lot of effort to kill this silver flower. Kid, let's go back. You've killed so many silver electric powerhouses. The silver electric race will probably go crazy. If a few old monsters jump out, it'll be dangerous. Lin Xian nodded. He also had the same plan. He planned to go back and cultivate in seclusion for a while to increase his strength again. After all, with the 10,000 ancient races coming out, there would probably be more and more monsters and powerhouses. Moreover, the silver electric race was only one of the stronger ones among the 10,000 ancient races. They were not the royal race or the royal race. One could imagine that the powerhouses of the royal race and the royal race would be even more terrifying. He had to increase his strength as soon as possible in order to compete with these people. The 2 of them were about to leave. However, at this moment, a golden light suddenly flashed in the distance, followed by a thunderous sound. The sky shattered. The terrifying scene was shocking. Even Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon were taken aback by the aura. Was there a powerful enemy? The 2 of them were extremely nervous. One had to know that their strength had just increased and was much stronger than before. However, that light still shocked them. Could it be an expert from the Silver Lightning Village? The dark red dragon felt a chill run down its spine. Lin Xian quickly used his heavenly secret god eyes. The golden eye in the sky looked into the distance, trying to see through everything. Within the lush mountain, within the ruined cave dwelling, a formation flickered. A streak of sword light hacked out, directly killing several archaic creatures. The others also vomited mouthfuls of blood. These people were from the ancient demon spider clan. Their 4 souls were also injured and their blood was boiling. His face was incomparably ugly. Damn it, they had tried to force their way out of the formation. Who would have thought that after so many years, the formation would still be so terrifying? It released a terrifying ray of light that directly killed a few of his subordinates. Even he almost died here. This left him with a lingering fear. My lord, what should we do? The ancient lifeforms' faces turned gloomy. The 4 souls quickly suppressed their injuries and wanted to attack. However, at this moment he suddenly raised his head and looked at the sky. In the sky, there was a pair of golden eyes looking down at them coldly. Oh no, who is it? The eyes were too cold, giving them a sense of oppression in their souls. It was as if a god above the 9 heavens was ruthlessly looking down at the sky. Retreat, retreat quickly. The 4 souls' face turned pale with fear. He waved his hand and quickly retreated into the distance. The ancient lifeforms also quickly retreated. They hid their auras. The golden eyes were naturally Lin Xian's. He used his heavenly secret god eyes to observe the situation in the distance. He saw clearly that in the distant mountain range, There were several corpses of ancient life forms and blood was flowing. There was also a broken ancient cave dwelling. Soon he withdrew his gaze. The dark red dragon asked, "Kid, how was it? What did you see?" Lin Xian told him what he saw. After hearing this, the dark red dragon narrowed its eyes. It seems that it should be an ancient ruin. However, it was discovered by these ancient life forms. He must have touched the formation just now, so he launched that attack. Lin Xian nodded. He thought so too. Moreover, he said that the corpses of those ancient life forms seemed to be from the ancient demon spider clan that he encountered in the palace. The ancient demon spider clan. The dark red dragon was also surprised. It's them. It seems that there must be something good in the broken cave dwelling. Should we go and take a look? That's good too. Lin Xian nodded. If it was really those people in the imperial capital, he was not afraid now. Although there were many ancient life forms and there was a young man who looked very powerful, he and the dark red dragon's strength were enough to deal with them. Therefore they decided to go and check it out. After all, they were very thirsty for energy now. The two of them turned into rainbows and flew toward the distant mountain range. Not long after, they descended from the sky. The dark red dragon saw a few ancient life forms' corpses in the surroundings, and there were terrifying energy remnants in the surroundings. Lin Xian looked around and found that there was no one around. The other ancient life forms should have left. The dark red dragon looked at the ancient cave dwelling in front of it, and its eyes shone with understanding. What a terrifying formation. Although it's so broken, it still has such a strong attack power. No wonder it can kill so many ancient life forms in an instant. Can we break it? Lin Xian asked. Don't worry, who am I? Is there a formation that I can't break? Give me some time, I promise I'll break it. The dark red dragon swayed its tail, rushed forward, and began to study the formation. Lin Xian also came forward, and the two of them prepared to work together to break it. In the distance, the four souls led the ancient demon spiders away from the ancient palace and retreated into the distance. However, they did not leave. After all, they were determined to get the 8,000-year-old elixir in the ancient cave dwelling. However, they had to lie low for now. The four souls formed a seal with their palms, and a strange light appeared in their eyes. Around the ancient cavern, the eyes of the corpses of the ancient life forms that had been killed suddenly moved. They also flickered with a strange light and began to move. This scene was very strange. Lin Xian did not notice it because he did not expect that the eyes of the dead could not move. Sir, what's the situation? Is it a human Holy Lord level powerhouse? The ancient demon spiders in the distance asked. The four souls shook his head. No, damn it, it's that kid. It's that Lin Xian. What? Are you talking about the Immortal Palace clan? He actually came here? Is he going to rob us? Chapter 2805. For souls also frowned. That shouldn't be the case. I already told that silver flower. Logically speaking, with silver flower's strength, she should be able to easily kill the other party. But why was the other party still alive? Could it be that silver flower did not encounter the other party? Thinking about it, he felt that there was only such a possibility. He never thought that the two sides would meet and silver flower would be killed. In his view, this was impossible. He was very clear about how powerful silver flower's strength was. How could this kid possibly contend with the one in front of him? However, when he saw Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon cracking the array formation, his eyes lit up, and the corners of his mouth curled into a cold smile. Don't act rashly. These two people seem to have a certain level of attainment in array formations. They are cracking the array formation of the ancient cave mansion. Wait for them to crack the array formation, then we'll charge in and snatch that 8,000-year-old spirit medicine. At the same time, kill these two people. A cruel light emerged in his eyes. The others laughed as well. Yes, that ancient array formation was too great a threat to them. A divine light directly killed several of their companions. They did not dare to face it anymore. Now that someone helped them crack the array formation, that was really too good. These people all waited here patiently. This wait lasted for 8 days. On this day, Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon made a move and finally found the flaw of the array formation, successfully cracking the array formation. With a crack, that ancient peerless killing intent disappeared, and the light of the array formation also dimmed. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon both breathed a sigh of relief. In the distance, in the endless mountain range, for souls and these ancient demon spider race creatures also cheered wildly in excitement. Great, it's cracked. Finally cracked. Did not expect these two guys to have such high attainments in array formations. To be able to crack this kind of peerless array formation. Then what are we waiting for? Let's hurry up and go. Four souls stood up, and with a wave of their hands, they flew forward overwhelmingly. In front, Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon prepared to enter after the two broke the array formation. However, they frowned instead. They perceived a powerful energy fluctuation coming from behind. Many figures flickered, flying towards this side. Damn it, someone's coming. Lin Xian's eyes flashed with a golden light, and his face sank. It was a member of the ancient demon spider clan. What? They're back? Damn it, they couldn't have been waiting here for us to break the formation, right? The dark red divine dragon instantly understood the reason behind this. These guys actually dared to let us take the lead and reap the benefits of others. He really wanted to kill them. Lin Xian said in a low voice. Then let's kill them. He turned around, and the two of them stood side by side as they stared at the 6 primordial creatures that had appeared before them. The person at the front was none other than the fourth soul. He brought his 5 subordinates to the sky and looked down at Lin Xian. Kid, I didn't expect you to be able to break the formation. Thank you very much. Don't worry, since you've broken the formation, I'll give you a quick death. Let you die less painfully. If you have any last words, please leave them. Behind him, the primordial creatures all sneered. They looked down at Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon as if they were looking at dead people. The dark red divine dragon gritted his teeth. Damn it, you want to kill us? Who do you think you are? Come here, I'll slap you to death. Lin Xian also sneered. He had even killed the powerful silver flower, let alone these primordial creatures. You're really courting death. Since that's the case, I'll fulfill your wish. Lin Xian's body burst out with a biting cold aura. Kid, you really don't know what's good for you. Do you think you can contend against me just because you killed 3 Silver Lightning Clan geniuses? The fourth soul sneered. Let me tell you, the strongest of the 3 Silver Lightning Clan geniuses only has 12,000 units of archaic power. However, I've reached 18,000 units of archaic power. I can also easily kill all 3 of them together. Kid, you're not my match at all. Kneel down obediently and I'll give you a quick death. Otherwise, if you offend me, I'll make you wish you were dead. Kid, hurry up and kneel. Before our lord gets angry, you're dead. The primordial creatures beside him also hooted and sneered. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes after hearing this. 18,000 units of archaic power? They were indeed powerful. But so what? He could even kill Silver Flower, who had 30,000 units of archaic power, let alone a mere opponent. Moreover, he didn't need to use the dragon-shaped sword Shadow. His own strength was enough to kill the opponent. One had to know that according to the dark red divine dragon, he had reached 21,000 units of archaic power. Now, his 9 young divine body had improved again, and his archaic power was estimated to be around 22,000 units. The dark red divine dragon beside him also had about 21,000 units. Either of them could easily get rid of the other. Where did the other party get the confidence to show off in front of them? How about this? I won't kill you. Lin Xian gazed ahead. Hand over all your ancient treasures. At the same time, each of you will give me half of your primordial blood. I can spare your lives. What? Lin Xian's words had completely angered these primordial creatures. They would give him half of their blood and give him all their treasures? What a joke. They were the 10,000 ancient races, high and mighty. Humans were only their slaves. Now, a slave dared to say such words to them? He really didn't know what death was. The fourth soul was so angry that his face darkened. Kid, you're dead meat. I've decided that I'll make you wish you were dead. He roared angrily and charged over. His posture was very arrogant. His palm covered the sky and the earth, enveloping Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon at the same time. He wanted to capture the two of them together. This was because he was very confident. 18,000 units of archaic power made him too powerful. Unless it was an even more terrifying existence from the ancient royal family or the imperial family, only then would they be able to threaten him. Otherwise, it would be an extremely terrifying senior figure. He didn't put someone like Lin Xian in his eyes at all. Looking at this scene, Lin Xian was expressionless. He raised his fist and punched out. This punch was simple and direct, but it was also very violent. The 9 Suns' divine fist was unleashed like a sun, meeting the attack head-on. Boom. An earth-shattering sound rang out, and blood splattered everywhere. This punch directly blasted the huge palm into pieces. Blood splattered everywhere and bones shattered all over the ground. The fourth soul screamed as if he had gone crazy. His palm trembled non-stop, and his face was filled with fear. The ancient life forms in the surroundings were also stunned. The other party had actually broken their lord's attack with a single punch, and even crippled their lord's palm. This made them incredulous. Chapter 2806. Damn it, could it be that the other party used some terrifying weapon? Before they could figure it out, the Four Souls Hall screamed again. That was because the dark red dragon spewed out balls of flames that enveloped the remaining half of the palm. Whoosh! The palm was burning rapidly. The dark red dragon's strength also exceeded the Four Souls Hall's, so in an instant half of the Four Souls Hall's arm was ignited. He screamed crazily, and the mysterious patterns on his body appeared, forming a force that suppressed the flames. His body was charred black, his face pale, and he kept panting. His cold eyes were spewing flames. Damn it, you've completely angered me. I'm going to tear you into pieces. He roared, and the broken arm was restored again. At the same time, the patterns on his body became more and more terrifying. Behind him, a few black branches appeared. There were yellow flower runes on them, making them look like tree branches. But if one looked carefully, they would find that they were spider feet. They were originally from the ancient demonic spider clan, and their main bodies were large spiders. At this moment, the Four Souls Hall transformed into their main bodies. 8 spider feet bared their fangs and brandished their claws. Each of them was like a peerless divine spear, piercing through the void and quickly charging toward Lin Xian and the dark red dragon. Go to hell, kid. He roared crazily. 8 silhouettes that looked like divine spears pierced through the void. In an instant, they arrived beside Lin Xian and the dark red dragon. This time he didn't hold back at all. He could easily kill several holy saint-level heavenly gums, so in his opinion this time the other party was definitely dead for sure. You don't know what's good for you? Lin Xian let out a long roar and took a step forward. His hands shone with golden light as he grabbed forward. In an instant he grabbed the 4 divine spears and then pulled hard. With a crack, the Four Souls Hall's claws were directly broken. Ah! An earth-shattering sound rang out, accompanied by screams, and blood splattered again. The Four Souls Hall was in so much pain that it almost fainted. Its claws were easily broken by the other party. How is that possible? He was too shocked. He had 18,000 archaic power. How did the other party resist? Could it be that the other party was stronger than him? He couldn't accept it. In the next moment, he screamed again because his other 4 claws were also shattered by the dark red dragon. All 8 of his claws were broken. This made him roll in the sky in pain. Damn it, kill them. Kill them. The Four Souls Hall roared crazily and ordered his subordinates to attack. He needed time to recover. Those archaic creatures quickly moved. Although the other party's strength, they had no choice but to obey. Furthermore, the 5 of them quickly formed a terrifying killing formation, preparing to join forces to kill the other party. Sure enough, the 5 of them stood separately in the air, clawing at Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon. Terrifying auras surged from their bodies, and mysterious patterns appeared on each of their bodies. They were activating their bloodline power. Indeed, an illusory figure appeared in the middle of the 5 of them. It was an ancient illusory figure that emitted an incomparably terrifying aura that could crush the 9 heavens. Be it yellows of them. Of yellow patterns covered it. Its cold eyes were like an archaic beast looking down on the world. It was too terrifying. This was the ancestral awakening shadow that was activated by their bloodline power. Each of the 5 Souls Hall had about 12,000 archaic power. If they fought Lin Xian, they wouldn't be a match for him. However, the ancient era's silhouettes that they summoned by combining all of their powers were extremely terrifying. Its aura seemed to be stronger than the Four Souls Hall's. Behind them, the Four Souls Hall had recovered from his injuries. His face was pale, but he gritted his teeth and rushed over. He opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood essence on the archaic shadow. In the next moment he also activated his bloodline power. Brr. The archaic demonic spider roared, and a terrifying light bloomed on its body. It became more and more solid. It was as if a real archaic beast had been resurrected. It was too terrifying. His power rose again. Go to hell, kid. With the Four Souls Hall's Four Souls Hall as the leader, the other 5 archaic creatures attacked together to activate the archaic shadow. They were courting death. Lin Xian roared and pulled out his ancient sword. Sword chi erupted from his body, and the dragon sword spirit in his body roared as he quickly slashed forward. The long sword was like a dragon, mercilessly slashing down. In the sky, it was as if thousands of mountains were descending. The terrifying archaic shadow, the archaic demonic spider, was split in half by the sword. The 5 archaic creatures that attacked also suffered a backlash and were torn apart. Even the Four Souls Hall's body was cut in half. He was in so much pain that he screamed and rolled in the sky. Damn it, impossible, how is this possible? At this moment he was extremely terrified. The other party's sword was able to injure 6 of them. It was too terrifying. One had to know that their attack just now definitely exceeded 20,000 archaic power. Even so, they couldn't do anything to the other party. Who was the other party? Could it be that the other party's strength was above 20,000 archaic power? He didn't dare to imagine. I've said it before. Since you don't want to leave, then go to hell obediently. Lin Xian's fingers moved, and several sword chi pierced through the souls of the 5 archaic creatures. In the next moment, he arrived in front of the Four Souls Hall and slowly raised the ancient dragon abyss sword in his hand. No, you can't kill me. I'm the young master of the archaic demonic spider clan. If you kill me, you're dead. We, the archaic demonic spider clan, will never let you go. My grandfather is a grand elder. The Four Souls Hall screamed crazily. His identity was extremely extraordinary. Could be said that he was very high in the archaic demonic spider clan. The other archaic races didn't dare to provoke him, let alone humans. Therefore he wanted to use his identity to suppress the other party. Is that so? So what? Lin Xian was unmoved and the longsword still slashed down. This scene made the Four Souls Hall extremely desperate. In his opinion, as long as he used his identity, even the saints and princes of the sacred grounds would have to crawl under his feet. However, the other party was not moved at all and still wanted to kill him. He screamed and wanted to escape, but how could he escape? In an instant his body was shattered. Only a head was left, and his head was also constantly changing, transforming into the appearance of his original spider body. In the next moment he burned the power of his bloodline, wanting to escape. Lin Xian reached out a golden palm, enveloping heaven and earth, firmly sealing him. Still want to escape? Do you think you're so powerful? Crushing everyone? In front of me you're just an ant. Today I'll let you have a taste of being crushed by others. The killing intent on Lin Xian's body became sharper and sharper. The head trembled non-stop, unable to bear it, and shattered into pieces. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.